Waiting for you. All right, bet. Here
All
we
right.
go.
All right.
Perfect.
What's up, man?
No, not much. So no. They were trying to have me react to a video. I think it was you and Sneeko. You guys were reacting to the conversation we had with Chud the Builder, or about Chud the Builder. I think the conversation went a little bit elsewhere, but it was for me. I thought it was I'm usually the person that is never, I'm not like Tariq Nasheed, where it's like, yo, and I think that's another place where Sneeko did a misstep, because I think he approached it like I was going to come with this black victimhood thing. And I was like, no, I'm not defending none of those points. What I'm defending here is that we have a certain individual, right? Whether I don't know how you kind of grade racial relations within, among races at this point. I think they're better than a couple years ago when people were rioting. And this guy is going out of his way, and he's using something that would seem legal, but it's not legal. He's saying it's my freedom of speech to be using slurs to offend you, piss you off, get you to a point that you could possibly, so I'm going to provoke you till you could possibly attack me. And if you do it, man, I got this gun on my hip, I'm going to put your brains on the pavement. And so Sneeko hopped on, and his opinion was this, and I guess you could chime in after that.
Yeah.
But this was the brunt of the debate. He said, well, here's the thing. He's like, I don't necessarily agree with what Chud the Builder does. However, I do think that, the black community or any community that allows a word to have like that much power, they should almost nerf the word, just like, repurpose it, or when people use it, just don't take offense. And my point to him was, that's just not, like, if we go back in the history of all etymology, like, that's just not how words are used and repurposed and put into place. If I say certain words to you about whether your religion or your mom or anything that's sacred to you, and also the thing with Chud, when disrespect is intended, even if it wasn't that word, he would have found the word to put the disrespect in. So it's hard to avoid when someone is seeking disrespect. If I said earlier, and I'll throw it to you after this, I said if because I'd seen a small part of, like, I guess you went on a tirade, and you said, well, you know what, if there is a little bit of black fatigue. And I said, well, here's the thing. When I look at, like, white people, I do think white people are kind of tired of not being able to be themselves, not being able to, like, be proud of being white. Because historically in the last 10 years or so, it has been where it's like, hey, if you're proud to be white, you're proud to be racist, right? And it's almost been like synonymous. And I do see, like, the tides changed on that. I don't have a problem necessarily with that. I have a problem when they're trying to combine those movements with a guy who is not, like, if he was walking up to white people, be like, yo, we're fucking white. We're proud. We're Americans. And if that was his thing and he's going viral, I don't think he gets his backlash. Is that he makes his movement diametrically opposed to black people, trying to put them down and also trying to assert why he's proud to be who he is. And that's why I thought it was a bad representative of any argument that anyone could have trying to support him. And the Sneeko argument happened. What say you?
Yeah, so I think it's important, right, to kind of understand that, like, a lot of the clips that go viral from Chud, right, those clips went viral because of the altercation. But obviously, nothing gets clipped when he's having conversations with people, when they're chopping it up about stuff more positive. Only the negative stuff goes viral. Me and you both know this, being in this industry, that, the good stuff is never clipped, right? When you say things that are positive, where you help people out, they never clip that. They only clip when you're, crashing out on Meek Mill or saying, oh, fuck you, Rory, or some other shit. So I think that's important because us as content creators, we understand that we always get clipped, sometimes at the craziest moments that don't necessarily reflect us. Now, with that said, let me be clear about this. I don't agree walking around and antagonizing people. I think that's probably not a good idea. And I actually messaged him about this as well. Now, with that said, when I talk about Chud and I talk about what just went down with this shooting, I'm speaking from the scope that based on the information that I saw and what people told me that were actually watching the live stream. Did you hear like what was like the narrative? What's been said?
Please. Well, I've heard one narrative, but I want to hear what you've heard. That we're on the same page.
Basically, from people that watch the stream, it goes down like this: he's walking around, and a group of people, presumably with whoever this guy was there, like pointed at him and started laughing. So he walks over, he says, "Hey, you guys like my suit? How's your day? Blah blah blah."
This is outside the courthouse, right? Because that's also
outside the courthouse.
Okay.
It's in this vicinity. Yeah. One of the guys says, "Hey, get out of here," and he says, "Well, I have the right to be wherever I want to be and walk where I want." Right? Okay. He starts walking away. Then he walks about 50 to 100 feet or yards away, whatever it may be, and the dude walks up to him and says, "I got PTSD. You better not say that I'm going to chimp out or call me the N-word, blah, blah, blah." Right?
Okay.
So he says, "Or what? You're going to chimp out?" And the fucking guy punches him, right? He punches him. The camera falls. You hear some tussling for a few seconds, and then you hear shots fired, right? Now, when it comes to those facts and circumstances, right, that is self-defense. People don't have to like Chud. They don't have to agree with the content he makes. They don't have to, be a fan or not. But I do think that with what went down and the facts that we know right now, if they are that in that manner, in that order, more than likely he's gonna have a pretty strong self-defense case. But the thing that people need to understand, and me and you both know this, we talked about this last time we spoke, whenever you have a high-profile case like this, like where someone that's high-profile was involved in an altercation or something happened, a lot of times the state is just going to make an arrest to absolve themselves from responsibility so that they can kind of be like, "Oh, we're going to pass the buck to grand jury." Like this literally happened to you. So you know what I mean? You were innocent. We all know you were. Bitches are lie all the time. But they still had to try to, let's push it to the grand jury because, we don't want to deal with any type of fallout. So when it comes to the Chud situation, the guy closed the distance on him, and typically whoever closes the distance is the aggressor, and Tennessee has a stand your ground statute. So once he punched him, it's all, game's on now at this point, right?
So I'm with you on most of this, and so the narrative I heard, it omits the part that he basically just says, "What's up?" and walks away, then the other guy approaches, right? So in the narrative I heard, he approached the guy. He's trying to have a conversation. The guy warns him. There is no walking away, so it appears that Chud walks up, and the guy warns him, "Hey, I have PTSD." Chud continues in their rhetoric back and forth. He then says the chimping out thing. A punch happens. But I'll dismiss what I've heard and go with what you've heard, just to continue the conversation.
Because the people I spoke to watched the stream. Like I asked a couple of people that watched the stream, and that's what they said.
Okay, perfect.
So there's a short conversation. The guy tells him, "Get out of here." He says, "I could walk where I want and be where I want. It's a free country," something along those lines. He walks away. Then the guy closes the distance on him and makes the remarks about, "You better not say that N-word around me," or, say that chimping out shit. "I got PTSD." And then he says, "Oh, are you going to chimp out?" And that's when he punched him. And then the fight began.
And this is where, so just addressing that. All right. If what you're saying is right, and I have really no reason to believe that it's just like a complete lie, so I'm going to go with it. So that happened. Well, self-defense is not utilizing deadly force, right? Like, I think deadly force, like, is defined by all 50 states, but even federally is like, if someone slaps you, it has to reach. So and this is the important distinction. I think a lot of people who like Chud or maybe supported in theory what he was doing, because he kept saying things like, "Hey, this is my First Amendment right, free speech." A lot of people didn't correct him in saying that, "Hey, listen, brother, you better go get a black belt or learn to squabble up, because what happens is if someone spits on you, you can't shoot them. If someone knocks your hat off, you can't execute them."
Sure.
So even if I'm going with what you said, yes, I believe he was defending himself, but when you defend yourself, that's you fighting back. So it wouldn't be an assault charge if he had punched the guy back in the mouth or even beat the shit out of him. But when you grab a gun And then that was, by the way, it's in his intent. He said it multiple times. Hey, I'm leaving a chimp's brain on the pavement. He's not saying that I hope no one threatens my life. He says these altercations where at times people are not even saying, I'm going to kill you. There's nothing that establishes, and you know, you're a former law enforcement agent, so you know better than me. There's nothing that he could, you know, articulate that says, hey, I am in fear of my life. Someone punching you in the mouth is not in fear of your life. He didn't say that. I heard that audio where he was telling the cop. He never said, oh, the guy was trying to grab my gun. He didn't say, hey, I'm about to shoot you with my gun. Basically, trust me, I know you walk around with a gun. I walk around with a gun. There's a lot of Americans that walk around using and establishing their Second Amendment right, the right to bear arms. Whether it's concealed or not, usually everybody's in the know of saying or understanding that it's not the first thing you use towards any type of violent or threatening altercation. If someone says, I'm going to slap you, you can't shoot them and get away with it. If someone like bumps hard into you and you feel that was, you know, like a act of aggression, you can't execute them. So someone punching this guy in the face, I think he had a severe misunderstanding for a while, thinking that if you touch him, he was well within his right to shoot you. And you tell me if you believe that's legal. So I'm saying he's defending himself. I'm saying he's not right to defend himself with a gun.
Fair. So you're trying to make the argument that the proportionality was off, right?
Yes, because usually most laws say there has to be proportional force. Yes, in terms of responding.
Let's switch Chud out. Let's say it's a 5'2" girl, same exact fact pattern. Can she shoot him?
After one punch, I would say no. I mean, it would be heavily debated though with the jury. I can imagine heavily debated, right? Like if it's like, oh, this has been my abuser. There's some history there. I'm really scared. Yes. In Chud's case, that's a tough sell. And again, here's my thing. He's been going around citing these, oh, my First Amendment, my Second Amendment. But so you're going to roll the die on people thinking that your frame of mind was that you're scared or you thought your life was in danger when you're online saying for months, I'm going to leave a chimp's brain on the pavement. And this is, he said it was a season finale. Like all these things, you know, these things are not going to get tossed. He's not going to be lucky like Luigi Mangione, who just got the backpack tossed out. All of these things are going to be active in your case. Nothing.
So
and again,
so for Chud, you believe that his use of force wasn't proportionate to what happened to him.
Yes.
So I said, because you believe one punch doesn't constitute as justification for deadly force.
Yes.
Fair. Then I asked you, well, what if it was a 5'1" woman and this dude punched her?
It'd be a better case.
Just fine shooting him?
It'd be a better case.
Right? It'd be a better case, right? Perfect. So what you just did there, I don't think you like what you just did there was you basically made it, oh, for the girl, the force is reasonable, right? But for Chud, I don't think so. And this is why self-defense is so important. It doesn't matter what I think. It doesn't matter what you think. It really doesn't matter what anyone thinks. The only thing that matters is the person that used the force and what was going on at their mind at the time of the act when they pulled the trigger or decided to use deadly force. And it's very important to know also, and I went into detail with this with a self-defense lawyer, one of the best lawyers in the country, and he also agrees with me on this. When it comes to self-defense and using deadly force, within milliseconds, that decision could be made, right?
I agree.
This is what protects people from getting wrongly prosecuted when they have had a reasonable inclination to believe their life was in danger. For example, let's say you get into a road rage incident, right?
Mm-hmm.
You get out the car, the other dude gets out the car.
Yep.
He says, fuck you, act, blah, 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 all this other shit. And then you see him go like this, right? And you see something silver. You pull out your piece and you shoot him, dead, right?
Most likely going to be
that. Right? And then, but you find out, oh, it was a pocket knife, right? Or it was a cell phone. Well, now, would a reasonable person have reason to believe that after a car crash, right, a fender bender, and they're out on the street fighting each other, and the guy comes out aggressively and says some things about you, and then he reaches like this, you see the light shine on it, and you're like, no way, I'm not taking a chance, you shoot him. You could argue that you were acting reasonably given the facts that were given to you. Why do I say all this? I say all this to say, we don't know what was going on when Chud was assaulted, and for us to dismiss it and say, oh, he got punched one time in the face, that doesn't constitute as deadly force. We can't say that. let's say he got hit in the back of the head. Let's say he got hit in an area where it knocked the wind out of him and he wouldn't be able to defend himself. Let's say he got a hold of his mace. I know this dude carries mace around with him, right? So we don't know all the different provoking factors that led to Chud pulling the trigger. But when it comes to self-defense, it's never based on what the 2020 hindsight is, like me and you were doing. It's based on what was known to Chud at the time he pulled the trigger. That's the only thing that matters.
And what you're doing right now is an amazing defense attorney stance. And like, if I'm his attorney, I'm hiring you, a former law enforcement agent, as an expert witness in a jiffy. But there's a few things to consider, right? First and foremost, the reason why he's doing all these things is going to end up hurting him, right? The fact that there's actually audio recorded at the moment where he's even explaining it, and it's now to the world, where he literally explains how it happened. He says, well, I went up to the guy. The guy says, hey, whatever, he doesn't want to kind of engage. He says, yo, you better not say that chimping thing. I got PTSD. He explains that. None of his explanation said I was in fear for my life. Now, granted, you know, that's not the only time he's going to have.
He said he had to defend himself.
Okay,
but it's also, here's
that's a huge range. That's a huge range, right? Like he hasn't established where he feels in, like, he's in fear of his life. He says the guy punches him. He never says, hey.
No, you don't have to fear for your life, Ak. It could be, it's not just that. It's not just like you feel like you're going to die. It could be serious bodily injury too.
Okay.
Serious bodily injury can also constitute for deadly force, right? Let's say you're a diabetic, right? And you know that your sugar's low. This dude comes up to you and hits you, right? You already start seeing stars. Well, now, if you pull out a gun and shoot him, right? Because according to what you're saying, you're like, oh, a punch doesn't constitute as justification for deadly force. My argument to that is it can, depending on who the individual is. We also don't know if he didn't follow up with a flurry of punches. Every punch that he throws gives Chud more and more justification. Maybe he heard, oh, kill that guy, whatever. And I know you mentioned before, yo, this dude walks around provoking people, etc. So check this out. Here's another thing that's very important. Your state of mind when you use the deadly force also matters. So if you've been getting death threats, if people have been threatening to kill you, if your address has been doxxed, if you've been going through situations where people are stalking you, whatever, all of that actually gives Chud more, right, reasonable belief that his life is in danger and that he can use deadly force. Now, I don't have to say I agree with that or I'm happy that that's what it is. I'm just being objective here and unbiased that when you have threats on your life, you get doxxed and you're like a polarizing figure like him, his use of force ladder is much easier to climb because he can reasonably articulate that, look, I'm a controversial guy. People come up to me. People say they want to kill me. People have these threats against me, blah, blah, blah. So that's why I did what I did. Also, interesting side bit. The dude that punched him had made a post on social media saying that he was going to harm him. So we don't know if Chud knew that. He might have recognized the guy, or the guy might have said, I'm going to kill you. I knew I was going to run into you. I'm going to kill you. Or any of that stuff that's said can obviously be reasonably looked at as a threat on his life, which allows him to use deadly force. And keep in mind, you don't have to get hit, right?
Also, similarly, I'm going to leave a chimp's brain on the pavement. So
self-defense.
So that will be used. I will say, though, everything we're saying, and we're kind of like trying to operate from like this hypothetical type of stance.
Yeah, because we don't know all the facts. We don't know all of them. So
it is kind of almost nerfed, though, by the fact that, yes, maybe if it was some random guy that didn't leave a long established history and trail of audio and video of him promising to do certain things or acting in certain situations. Keep in mind, there's also a video or some depiction of what happened, because according to the arrest warrant, they said that he was in a bladed stance with his weapon out before the guy ever punched him. So already you're cooked. Like, so the weapon is out. So if you then, so let's put it in perspective in how I'm going to do it. So you antagonize people with words. They now start to either, react back, maybe not even physically yet, and you have your gun out. This is like bait car. It seems like
he didn't antagonize them. It's important, Ak. He didn't antagonize them on this situation. The only fact pattern that matters is this situation. All the stuff he did before.
So he never called this guy a chimp.
No, what he said, what they told me was He said, "You better not call me the N-word or say that I'm chipping out." And he goes, "Or what?
Why
You
would he
gonna
draw
chip
for
on
his
me?"
gun then? So suppose they're saying he's in a bladed stance with his weapon out. Why would he do that if the other party, remember you said that he walked away. It seems like he's de-escalating. He's not antagonizing. Why would he need to pull his weapon unless you're saying this guy literally was an unhinged guy trying to attack him?
Sure, I can answer that. It was probably pepper spray. So Chud walks around with bear mace all the time, and that's typically what he uses. So we don't know if he wasn't reaching for his bear mace.
What the CNN personnel who read the arrest warrant said he reached for his firearm and he stood in a bladed stance. And this was before the altercation.
It's not illegal. Let's go with that fact pattern. Even though what I've been told is he got hit first, then you heard the gunshots.
Okay.
Let's assume that he was.
Which I believe that too. I'm just saying there are some people where even after you got your gun out, they think you're not going to fire and they'll still hit you.
Okay, so perfect. Let's use that fact pattern. Let's dismiss mine. Let's use yours. Let's assume that the guy is walking towards him when he has a bladed stance, saying, "Hey, you better not," which obviously implies he has a weapon. You can argue now that he's coming at me when I'm warning him I have a weapon.
Yeah, but
this guy's crazy and wants to hurt me.
But technically, that would also be assault, correct? Like, so you're telling me. So you're telling me if I pulled out a loaded gun, okay, I'm having an argument with the guy and I pulled out a loaded gun on him, that's nothing? If you have a loaded gun on someone, remember there's been no physicality yet, and that person punches you, the person who punched you isn't wrong? Come on, Myron.
Okay, you said, hold on. You said reaching for. Now you're saying he pulled it out and pointed. That's a big difference. Reaching for versus this is two different things.
Okay. So I want to go by the exact wording. They're saying the arrest warrant is showing that he turned into a bladed stance and reached for his firearm.
Okay, it's not illegal to reach for your gun.
Okay,
it's not illegal.
Well, if someone
we don't even know if it's a gun yet. Like I said, he carries bear mace with him.
Well, but if you're saying self-defense, it works both ways. If someone feels you're reaching for a gun, based on what they've heard you say in the past, and they punch you, it feels like it would be their self-defense, right?
Well, no, because he closed the distance and was the aggressor. The aggressor can't claim self-defense.
Well, the point I was trying to say is that threatening someone with a gun is the person being aggressor. If I have a gun on my hip and I'm arguing with you and I lift my shirt up that you can see the gun and I say, "Yo, Myron, what you want to do? Yo, what's up? We can do it any way you want." And you see the gun, that is the initial aggressive event. Even though I've not touched you. No, I've made a threat with a weapon. No?
Fair. But you're missing a very important part, Ak.
Okay, go ahead.
If let's use a scenario. Let's say me and you are beefing.
Okay.
I see you on the street, right? You see me coming towards you. We're in the state of Florida or Tennessee.
Okay.
Hey, Ak, I heard you talking that shit. Say that shit to me now. You want to get packed up? You go like this. Yo, don't fucking try it, bro. Get the fuck out of here. Right? I keep talking and I close the distance even more like I'm about to strike you. Bro, you don't got to wait for me to come up and strike you. You can pretty much reasonably believe that I'm trying to hurt you despite the fact that you gave me multiple warnings and we have a beef and a history where I'm threatening to, I'm going to pack you up. Now you have reasonable belief that I'm going to significantly hurt you or create serious bodily injury. That's all that's necessary. And I don't have a self-defense now because I was the one that started with you and I closed the distance. If I close the distance, I'm the aggressor. I no longer enjoy the benefits of a self-defense argument.
I feel like what you're saying is a tall order of a lot of circumstances that needs to fall in his particular favor, despite any of the things that people have seen. But again, here's a few hurdles we have to get past.
Well, let's have fun with it then. So real quick,
okay.
Would it be fair to say the first fact pattern I gave you, right? Yeah. Which is what the people that are watching the stream on Pump Fun all told me. He's walking around. He sees them pointing at him and laughing. He walks up to start a conversation. Hey, how you guys doing today? Hey, get the fuck out of here. We don't want you around here. All right, I can walk wherever I want, but it is what it is. Walks away. Guy closes distance. Says the stuff. I got PTSD. Call me a chip and see what happens. You gonna chimp out? Punches Chud. From all the witnesses I've heard from, he never called anyone a. And he didn't say anything until the guy said, "You better not say, oh, are you going to chimp out? Or sorry, are you going to say I'm chimp out? Blah, 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 threaten him." Then he says, "Oh, or what, you going to chimp out?" Then that's when he struck him. That's the first fact pattern. So I think in that one, He 1000% has self-defense. He walked away.
I
He
think
didn't
not.
provoke. The guy closed the distance. He punched him first, and obviously shots were fired. We didn't see what happened, but you can hear a struggle. You can presume.
I think
Go ahead.
Dalton, I think that's his name, Dalton Etherly or whatever his name is. Him using chimp out will be very replaceable of him using the N-word in terms of it being seen as a fighting word. Okay? Someone tells you, hey, listen, I have a particular condition. Don't do this. And you say, wait, or you're going to chimp out. And that, I believe, is going to be seen not by every jury in every vicinity, but I think overwhelmingly, definitely enough for an indictment where people are like, well, why did you say it then? If the guy gives you a warning, that is a warning, right? Hey, don't start that other stuff or else I might have to react. I can't help myself. Well, I don't know if he said that, but then you then follow up by saying, don't say you're chimping out. That would then be, I would say, insightful, or what, a lot of, in many places, the law considers as fighting words. You don't think?
No, not at all, because that removes all autonomy from the guy, right? If we really had this whole concept of fighting words is ludicrous, because if we went off that precedent, like, basically, I could just say, I'm a retard, and then fucking punch you and be justified in it. Like, that would never fly, right? Him saying, I have PTSD, you better not say, right? And then he says, or what, you gonna chimp out? Like, and then the guy punches him? Dude, like, we're all adults here. Like, that's just completely unacceptable behavior. And he closed the distance against him, too. Keep in mind, bro, whoever closes the distance and is the aggressor is the loser in this situation.
Okay. And I know you said this before, but do you really believe that the only reason why you saw the charges? You can't believe that all the charges are coming from, okay, just societal pressure and, hey, let's throw this to a grand jury and see what they say. You don't believe any of his actions. And well, let me start with this. So do you think he's justified in his shot?
With the first fact pattern I gave you, where
Let's go with that.
Again, from the people that saw the pump stream, that's self-defense all day. The guy came to close the distance on him.
So you could shoot him.
Well, again, we don't know what Chud knows when he decided to pull the trigger. He could have hit him twice and knocked the wind out of him. He could have maybe had a weapon from what Chud saw. He could have said something like, oh, you're going to die today. Like, all of these different factors can easily help or justify an escalation to deadly force. Because obviously a fight situation, every millisecond, the facts are changing, which will allow you to justify the use of deadly force. So, you could say, oh, one punch doesn't suffice. But as I explained before with the female example, well, to a female, it suffices, right? So by definition, that means the person that is using the force must have a reasonable reason or a reasonable belief that they were in fear of death or some serious bodily injury, which serious bodily injury could just be a broken bone. It's not that high of a barrier. So with the fact pattern that I have, I think it's self-defense all day. Now, the other one you gave, because you gave a second scenario where you said he came to him and he was bladed like this and he was reaching for something, it's not illegal to reach for something. And we don't even know if it was his mace or his gun, because he always carries mace around him with him as well. And he normally always maces people first when they come to him. So we don't know if it was the mace.
Establishing that he was reaching for something, especially given the fact that there hasn't, unless maybe he identified there was a threat before, kind of shows that he was already in a position to be the offender, or he was anticipating getting hit, but there is no threat at that point. Right? And apparently he doesn't get hit until he says something, which that I would consider, and I think that would constitute fighting words, right? Again, you can't just antagonize people and shoot them. Like, that would be like the greatest thing ever, right? Like, you go out, be like, you a bitch. The person hits you, you shoot him dead. Like, that would be like the best thing to just trick people out their spot. You know what I mean? But
yeah. Well, the thing is, bro, is like saying someone's chimping out is not fighting words. Like,
absolutely,
are you going to chimp out? It's not fighting words.
No, absolutely it is. Like,
you think that's fighting words?
A racial, anything towards if it's a homophobic slur, a racial epithet, it's all of that is going to go towards you are using speech in a way to violently offend, to either cause a reaction or to start an altercation. Right? If someone, all right, let me ask you a question. If someone walked up to you and be like, "Fuck your dead grandma," is that fighting words to you?
No.
Okay, well, all right. So you might be a little bit different. To most people,
I would be like, this guy's fucking weird and leave.
Okay, so you have much more. Tolerance. I think if we've looked at the history of what's called, even fighting words, really even offending people just to get them off, whatever, interrupting and offending people, especially with slurs, are usually generally considered that. You get what I'm saying?
Right now, it's words meant to incite violence, such as they may not be protected under the First Amendment.
Chimping out is that. Chimping out. When I hear chimping out, you basically said the N-word.
I don't think that constitutes as a justification to punch somebody.
It's not. No.
Wait. No justification to punch somebody.
No.
Zero.
I'm not arguing. I'm not arguing that it means you could punch someone. I'm arguing that the rhetoric that you approach that person with is now eliminated what you claimed you were there to do, which is practice your First Amendment right. Because now you're not practicing your First Amendment right because you've approached with words and type of speech that's not protected. So already your goal is not even within the bounds of what is actually accepted. And then what happens from there, we now have to look at differently. So now, okay, all right, fine. Let's say it was some protected speech and the guy punches him. Well, if it stops there, the guy gets an assault charge. It's a simple battery, right? That's like a misdemeanor some places, unless he really goes crazy on you. It maybe would turn into a felony. But that's what it is there. When that is the only precursor, right? We got to, like, again, and maybe for your audience, I'm using a ridiculous example. It's like, if we all agree to go shoot up like our enemy's block, right? And we all hop in a car and we're going to go there, right? And during the commission of this crime, one of us gets shot. They're probably going to charge us with murder. Or if we go to rob the bank and one of us get killed by the security guard, yeah, you guys get charged with the murder. So it's like, in a lot of cases, you got to follow the sequence of events of how this crime is committed or how it devolves to the last step. So Chud is the first offender by utilizing these fighting words that then, again, it doesn't justify, but it's the sequence of events, right? Like, for example, you didn't rob the bank yet, but walking into the bank, you had the intent of robbing, and then the security guard shoots your man, right? So again, you got to follow the sequence of events, and in none of the sequence of events is this guy being just unnecessarily provoked and unnecessarily being just like completely, hey, let us call you a name that is provocative, or just provoke you, and I think that's where.
So sure. Okay, yeah. So number one, in this scenario, like I said before, Chud wasn't the first offender because the guy came up to him. So it was the guy.
Well, he started having a conversation first with Chud. Had started.
He said, hello, how you guys doing? He didn't swear at them. He didn't say anything. He walked away. Then that's when the guy came up and said he knew who he was. He was like, hey, you better not say that chip out shit to me or call me. Otherwise, there's going to be problems because I got PTSD, blah, blah, blah. And then he says, or what? You going to chimp out? Then he strikes Chud. Also, real quick, assuming that let's assume Chud did. Let's go best case scenario for the prosecution. Let's say still is not considered a fighting word according to U.S. law. Still not. And then on top of that,
hold on. Wait. Fighting words aren't necessarily just all spelled out. fighting words have a meaning behind them, which means anything that has, and this is why, you know, the Sneeko debate constantly comes up, is like, if there's a shared meaning of offense or provoke, me trying to provoke you, that is going to be seen as a fighting word. There's not like clearly defined fighting words.
Yeah, no, of course. But what I'm saying is, because you said racial terms are considered fighting words, they're not. Now, what you're referring to is within certain contexts,
a white man
right?
calling a black guy the hard ER or saying he's chimping out, that is as fighting words as could be. Come on.
Okay.
In the United States of America?
Okay,
yes.
Again, what you might constitute as fighting words isn't constituted as fighting words according to U.S. law. I want to be clear about this. Like, you might take offense and be like, yo, those are fighting words, I'm whooping your ass. But according to the law, the term isn't a fighting word. Now, I'm going to be charitable. Let's assume the word is used with other behaviors that might be...
Wait. Are you saying that could never be a fighting word, or you're saying just in itself it's not a fighting word, but contextually could? Yeah. Because contextually, the way this guy, when I hear him say chimping out, I hear him saying the N-word. Like, my brain substitutes it. Like,
sure. But remember, everything. Notice how you respond to me, like, you know, from your subjective take.
I'm not doing the anecdotal thing here. I think we're this is where we probably depart in many, like, you know, mutual thinking. I think remember, listen, you know, even my audience know I am not Tariq Nasheed. They know, like, listen, when Ak feels offended by this is something that the majority of people who are, you know, melanated are going to feel offended by. This is not normal. Like, and I know when you say that you wouldn't feel offended by the N-word, I think you're the very small minority. I think if you walk up to most people that consider themselves black or even brown or have some ancestry that emanate from that sector, if they heard a white man say the N-word to them, immediately it would offend. They would feel like someone is trying to either oppress them or, and again, it's just, the word is loaded with meanings for people of a certain color. You saying that you could brush it off is very different.
All right, let's go into a scenario. Okay, are black people adults and full-fledged members of society?
Absolutely.
So if they're adults and full-fledged members of society, right, that have autonomy, well, that also comes with responsibility. If you punch somebody for saying a word just because you're a black, that actually looks bad on the black race. Because I'll tell you this, if I went to a Jewish neighborhood and started throwing Roman salutes and saying, I pretty much won't have to worry about anything. They're not going to come up and punch me because they're exercising self-restraint because they're adults. So your argument is basically, hey, bro, just don't, because they don't have self-control and they're going to punch you in the face. That's basically what you're trying to say. Now, going back to what I was saying about the whole law thing, not enough to be considered fighting words. It needs to be utilized with some other imminent threat of violence. In this scenario, now let's go back to the Chud the Builder case because we're being very specific. I only said doesn't meet fighting word requirement. Chimping out definitely doesn't.
Well, we're going to go off his history where he says he's leaving a chimp's brain on the pavement. Like, this is history.
I can address that after. So, not considered a fighting word unless some type of imminent violence is behind it, right? Next, if fighting word, then we can pretty much conclude that chimping out isn't a fighting word either. Then, to add insult to injury to finish, the guy closed the distance on him, then said, you better not say chimping out. He says, or what? You going to chimp out? that's when he punched him. So this guy has zero justification to do what he did. Again, I am going off of the facts and circumstances on what happened that day. Now, let's address that tweet you mentioned with somebody on a sidewalk, blah, blah, blah. Now, obviously, that's not the best look, right? But I do think it's important to understand that
shows intent.
Let me say this. You could be a criminal. You can be a sex offender. You could be one of the most deplorable people ever. That does not deny you the right to defend yourself. You can say all kinds of crazy shit on the internet, but that does not mean that you can't defend yourself. So the tweet, I hate to say, is completely irrelevant to this specific use of force.
I think I disagree. I think his entire background makes this very different than, say, a drunk
guy. That's not going to come in at trial, though. The important, like the most important.
Of course it will.
None of that. It won't.
You don't believe that his previous behaviors and tweets will come in at all?
No, because what's going to happen is the prosecution is going to try. Well, the prosecution is obviously going to try to put it in.
Well, here's the thing. It's absolutely going to come in because, number one, and that's another thing that Mr. Chud's going to learn. You see, if you're going to shoot somebody, you got to make sure you kill him. That boy's going to take the stand. You know what he's going to say? Hey, the reason why I said that to him, that don't say this type of rhetoric, is because I've seen him on social media many times. So it's automatically going to come in. I've seen him on social media. He says this rhetoric. It's pissed me off. There is context towards just us having a random run-in. And if that guy takes a stance, you can't the stand. You can't immediately just.
You do realize that if the guy takes a stand and says what you just said, he's going to exonerate Chud. You do realize that, right? You just made Chud's case. You literally just made Chud's case, bro.
Not necessarily.
Bro, you literally just.
Hold on. Wait.
You just made Chud's case.
No, because we disagree what the case is. The case is not saying why did this altercation happen or who was the first person that was physically violent. My thing is, if you like to pop shit that much, you better get security or learn to squabble up. You cannot shoot someone just because you get punched. I think the guy, the guy who punched him probably should get an assault charge, honestly. Yeah. However, it's going to be nerfed by the fact that he got shot. The point is, if you are this raging racist who thinks that you're practicing your First Amendment right, you better be a black belt, because when somebody slaps you, you better be able to beat him to the ground, not try to shoot him and execute him. They didn't charge him with just aggravated assault, which means you shot him. They charged him with attempted murder, which means you tried to murder a man who punched you. And again, I know you say, well, maybe it's like 15 punches. Well, clearly, and I get it, maybe they've just overcharged and we're going to see what it is. But the reason why he's sitting in jail now, can't even take the bond that's coming through with the GoFundMe, this and third, is because you miscalculate. It's not only that you were doing some crazy shit and you should have knew this were going to be the consequences, white skin or not. You operated in a place where now you have to go rely on a bunch of jurors to see your side. You got played. As much as he was running around calling black people stupid, calling them chimps, the only person who was misinformed of the actual law, the guy who shot him, yes, he got shot. He's not getting charged. The only person who got handcuffs on him that's showing up to court looking dumb stupid when they say 1.25 million bail is you, because everything you were doing wasn't fully backed by the law. And you know it wasn't fully backed by the law. Again, I'm not saying. So you believe he's solely charged?
Okay, so number one, me and you both know that people get charged in high-profile cases like this that are racially motivated because the DA's office doesn't want to deal with it. I'll be fair to you. Look at Carmelo Anthony when he stabbed Austin Metcalf. He claimed self-defense, but they still arrested him. Why? Because the state doesn't want to have to deal with the backlash that can come whenever these, racially charged cases end in someone dying. They'd rather push it to the grand jury or the jury. That's number one. Number two, when I mentioned that stuff's not going to come in, you do realize if that stuff does come in about his past, all of that is going to give Chud even more justification because he's an antagonizer. He's a controversial person. Everybody hates him. This allows him to be able to say, look, I'm on heightened alert because people are trying to kill me. They doxed my address, blah, blah. This dude came up to me. He's made threats to me.
Not if it's proven that he's provoking that particular incident.
No, he didn't, though. That's the point. He did not provoke this. See, you're relying upon as streams to justify this guy coming up and assaulting Chud because of what he did on other streams. This
I'm relying on the arrest warrant.
Hold on, real quick. This use of force incident is an isolated event, and nothing really matters from before. You can be a murderer, a terrible person. That stuff isn't going to come in.
No.
Now
I'm relying on the arrest report. Hold on. He said to him, "You're chimping out." If you said to that guy, he's chimping out, and for whatever reason he takes that offense, you have started a train of events.
He didn't, because that guy came up to him. In this isolated incident of use of force, Chud walked away. The guy closed the distance. He was the one that provoked. Then he punched Chud first. Chud responding, "Or you gonna chimp out," does not give this guy the legal right to punch him under some ambiguous fighting terms phrase. We know constitute for that.
No.
So how is chimping out gonna constitute?
You're constantly.
This is opens up, man.
Wait. You're constantly. You're restating my point without actual. I never said he has the right to punch him. I've always thought that
what Chud provoked. You're arguing Chud provoked, and I'm saying he didn't.
Hold on. You hear what I'm saying? I think he antagonized the situation, right? Fighting words do not get. Hold on. I agree. Fighting words do not give people the right to assault you. However, once we start there and you get assaulted, it then doesn't give you the right to use deadly force. That's the point. So again, Chud should have squabbled up. Or if you knew your squabble game was weak and you had to pull the gun, you should have never been in that situation. So yes, the guy's wrong for punching Chud, but Chud should have punched him back. Not use, that's not proportional force. And I'm telling you, I would love to, first of all, here's the thing. This is how much I don't care about Chud. If Chud beats this case, if a nigga lift straight up. Like this is not good. If you think Bro. He's gonna get off shooting a guy because a guy punched him one. And by the way, there's no like flurry of punches we heard. We heard the guy hits him, right? If he gets off by being able to legally shoot someone because someone punched him, let's end fist fights. Because you punch me, I'm gonna see you. We gonna say in the seventh heaven. That's not happening. Come on.
Again, I asked you earlier, if a woman gets punched, does she have the justification to use deadly force? You said it depends. So the fact that you conceded,
the circumstances we talked about already has it's you can't compare it to a woman. You can't compare it to a woman.
That's not my point. I'll real quick. I'll go through this. First, you said, because your argument is this. Let me make sure I have this right. A punch does not justify deadly force. Fair?
Yes.
That's your position. Okay. Then I asked you.
Also, Tennessee statute also say that if you were the antagonist, you cannot use self-defense. That is also true. So there's many things going against him.
Hold on. Okay. So let's go through this again. Your position is Chud, one punch does not justify deadly force. Fair?
Yes.
Okay. Then I asked you, if the dude punched a girl that's 5'1", 100 pounds, does that count? Does that justify her using deadly force? You said it depends. Beautiful. That proves. So the fact that you conceded on that means I'm right, and let me explain why. You're saying
no. You're right with a 5% possibility. It's like, yo, if I told you if you could jump off this building, you have a 5% chance of surviving. It's unlikely possible. Yes. Is it probable? No.
Okay. I'm not saying that to say, oh, the woman is going to shoot. I'm showing it to illustrate that reasonableness based on the person that's using the force is the only thing that matters. So again, me and you can't sit here, right, a Monday morning quarterback and be like, oh.
Yeah, we can, because that percentage.
No, we can't.
No,
Myron, hold on.
You're not admitting that percentage is very low. Like again, I got to talk to you in broad terms. Listen, if we had to get and you've seen many of these incidents, 100 incidents that you think a fist fight actually would, it would actually prove that it was warranted to use a gun. If there was 100 fist fights, how many do you think we would be like, oh, okay, it made sense for him to use a gun? Or no, legally, he was right to use a gun. It would be probably very few and far in between. So for you arguing this for Chud, it's like, huh? Yo, it's like arguing like, yeah, of course, if I go to the casino and gamble, there's a 2% chance I win, but most of them I'm going to lose. No, that is, yes, with self-defense, you are completely right. However, when you try to apply the, well, if it was a woman, it would be a little bit different, but it's not a woman. Let's use the variables that actually exist. And even if you don't want to use past variables, let's just be honest. Which jury, if you think you could seat a jury that's going to say, hey, he got punched once, he's very within his right to shoot that guy and try to kill him, come on, bro. Really?
Okay.
Is there a possibility? Yes.
Who provoked this altercation?
I'm still going with Chud.
Who closed the distance?
If that's what you want to call the provocation, I think it was provoked the moment he approached the guys. They don't want to talk to him. They didn't approach him. They're not like, hey, they're minding their business, even if they're laughing at you. You try to have a conversation with them that they're not willing to do. Hey, we don't want to talk to you. I'm good. We're good.
Okay. Then he disengaged, right?
That I'm not too sure about, but I'll go with your story, yes.
Okay, so he disengaged. This is what the people that actually saw the stream said. Eyewitnesses, several.
Close the distance, does that mean violence? Does that mean threats? Even if they're like, hey, I'm just walking over to you. Hey, wait, what'd you say again? Is that a threat?
Let's just be honest, bro. This dude, let me be explicit. This dude was the provoker. He walked up to Chud. He antagonized Chud.
But Chud started talking in verse.
No, but he didn't provoke. He didn't say anything. He said, "Hey, how you guys doing today?" Then they said, "Hey, get out of here. You can't be walking around."
All right, let me ask you this question.
And he walks away.
Could this argument be made? Your words is you're provoking me with your words. I know who you are. I'm black. The mere fact you even initiate this conversation, again, remember, we're also talking self-defense here. Can we objectively find out what's provoking? Is provoking walking up to? Is provoking talking to?
He didn't provoke them. He went up and said hello. They told him, get out of here. He walked away.
Okay, don't you think they might have found that provoking if they're saying, as soon as he says hello, yo, leave, please, stop, get away from us?
No. Because
why not?
Saying hello to someone is not provoking, and then you tell them, get out of here, and they walk away, like, bro, like, that's insane. Like, that is set an insane standard if we could walk around and say, oh, saying hello is provocation. Dude, it's not. Like, the guy closed the gap on Chud. He said,
what does that mean?
Then he followed him. When I say he closed the gap, he followed him, He literally followed him. He followed him and said, if you say that shit to me about Chud, do that, I got PTSD. Chud says,
if we also follow stand the ground.
Let me finish. He walks up to him. He says that shit. Then Chud says, oh, or what? You gonna chip out? Then he socks Chud. He punched him once. Now let's address the second argument. You said that one punch can't constitute to justify deadly force. But then I asked you, well, if a woman gets hit like that, can she use deadly force? You said it depends. Beautiful.
Okay, that's so let me just say, generally, 90% of cases.
You gotta let me finish.
No, because you do this argument with the girls that come on your stream. If when the girls come on after hours and they be like, well, I know this one guy, his relationship. You know what you say to them? We're talking generalities. We're not talking about.
It's not about the woman. I'm saying
that's why I ask you on a if we're talking about probabilities, how many times? In how many cases have you ever seen it ever being justified that a punch is justified as a gunshot? On a range of probabilities, probably like 5% or less. So that's what I'm saying. Like when you're saying, well, remember if it was you're changing up all the variables to try to create this particular thing where it probably is going to be valid.
I'm switching the variable to show that your logic doesn't apply. Again, please let me finish.
If it applied, we wouldn't have to switch the variables.
Let me finish, please, because you're not letting me finish so I can bring this all together. You said a punch doesn't justify lethal force. I said fine. Then I brought, you know what? Fuck the woman. Let's say it's a man with a pacemaker. Cool? Let's say it's a dude with a pacemaker. He can't.
These
really
are 1% things, Myron. These are 1% things.
It's not about.
He has one leg. Go ahead.
Let's say he has a pacemaker, right? If he gets hit with anything, the pacemaker can stop, right? You might say, does he have a justified use of deadly force, right? Because he could potentially get punched and his pacemaker go down. Would it be fair to say he can use deadly force after a punch?
Yeah.
Okay.
Chud has a pacemaker?
Here's the thing. I didn't ask you that to see, does he have a pacemaker? I'm trying to illustrate that you just used the metric I've been talking about. Is it reasonable? And that reasonableness, hold on. That reasonableness act, this is so important. Please, bro, if you hear anything out from me, hear this. That reasonable standard shifts based on the person that used the force. Someone who's 6'3", 250 pounds might not be able to justify lethal force after a punch, whereas someone who has a pacemaker, a man, can justify it, or a woman who's 5'1". So what I'm trying to illustrate is the principle that reasonableness is what dictates if the shooting was good. Neither me nor you are in a position to say if Chud was justified and it was reasonable, because we don't know the facts at the time he pulled the gun. He could have seen a knife. He could have heard his buddy saying, kill that motherfucker. He could have felt as though the guy was trying to reach for his gun. There's so many different factors that me and you don't know that are critical.
And you're right.
This is why self-defense cases almost always go to the stand. Why did Kyle Rittenhouse testify? He testified because only he can describe in excruciating detail precisely what was going through his mind as that guy came up with the skateboard and he decided to pull the finger on that AK-47 and kill him. Only he can do that. So the point I'm trying to make is reasonableness on the person using self-defense is what matters. Me and your opinion is irrelevant. I'm not sitting here saying Chud is innocent. What I am saying is that based on the facts and circumstances, his reasonableness is going to be based on things that me and you don't know about.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though. If we're going on, if we're going on problem.
Myron is willing to go off of what he claimed to have heard from people who watched the live stream on Fun Run or whatever the fuck it is. But he claimed that he's going off of what the people from that stream who watched it said to him. Now, he's going off of that like that's objective fact, like it's absolute truth and nothing more, nothing less. Right? Cool. Here's the problem. Nobody has video from that altercation. There's no proof on that website that that live stream even occurred. I went there. I looked. There's no proof of it. There's proof of other videos that he made, but that particular one doesn't even exist. Interestingly enough, regardless, Myron is going off of what people told him. Reason being is because Myron hates black people. This is the truth. Myron has a personal vendetta against black people. He cannot stand black people whatsoever. This is the reality of it. This is the truth of the matter. Myron can't stand black people. This just is what it is. I'm gonna make a whole video on that topic. We're gonna touch on it. We're gonna get to the nitty gritty, and I'm gonna break down exactly why Myron may have a extreme hatred towards black people, black women, black men, and the black community in totality. It just is what it is. We're gonna get back to the video though. Let's get it.
Ability. Just based on anything that you might know, currently, he's fucking cooked, right? Like, no, it's cool saying he has a 5% chance. Like, of course. Like, if he has, like, yo, if you punch me in this corner of my mouth, my doctor done told me I'm going to pass out. I have a gun. He might kill me. So I shot him. Cool. That might be a really great defense. From what we know, this is a 6'3" white guy who looks like he got a little bit weight to him. It doesn't look like that if you get punched by a random civilian, you could use your gun. That's what I'm trying to establish. Of course, he might have some loophole. It's fine. I'm not saying he can't. What I'm saying is that let's not acknowledge that he did the right thing for the majority of people that are going to be in his position. He did the wrong thing. He should have squabbled up. But because he shot the guy, he's going to have to rely on one of these kooky-ass things that you described. Hey, he has a pacemaker. Hey, you never know. Maybe he thought he was like a girl and he can't deal with a punch. Cool. Maybe that works. But the reality of it is that this isn't open and shut. For example, you know what's open and shut? We don't got to go to 10 or 5%. Hey, the guy says, yo, you Chud? Man, and he reaches. I've been trying to get up with you. Chud pulls out, shoots him. That's going to be easy. That's a 90% chance you're getting off. What you're mentioning is that the guy couldn't take a punch, so he shot. Yeah, he's going to spend maybe millions in legal fees and probably still go to jail.
What I'm telling you is that we don't know how many times he got punched, okay? He got punched one time and the camera fell, and you can hear them struggling.
Yeah, but Myron,
we don't know if he got... Again.
Myron, this one part you're saying you don't know, but you're certain that you know other parts. You're like, I know the guy approached him. Maybe we don't know that either. What I'm saying is that if we're assuming, let's assume everything.
That's what Myron has been doing. He speaks on one thing as if it's objective fact, and then he speaks on another thing that counteracts his argument, and then he says, that stuff we don't know. We don't know. We don't know. But then when it comes to something that validates his argument, he talks about it objectively as if that's reality, that's what happened, that's what I was told, and that's the circumstance, and it is what it is. The man is going to get away scot-free. He's not in the wrong, so on and so forth. Chud does not like Myron. You can look at previous videos from Chud, and you will see that he does not like Myron. He has made it clear time and time again. Myron has never liked Chud. With that being said, the only reason Myron is stepping up and trying to have Chud back in this case is because this is a crime, a violent crime against black people. Chud did something that Myron wishes he could do, but he's too much of a coward to actually do it. This is the only reason Myron has stepped into the ring and decided to give his 2 cents and decided to advocate for Chud. This is truly only the reason. If it was any other circumstance, Myron wouldn't give a fuck. If he did this to any other people, Myron wouldn't give a fuck. If he did this to Sudanese people, Myron would be in the Sudanese people's side. If the same exact situation occurred and Myron's people were the victims and Myron's people were the ones being antagonized, Myron would be in the be on the side of his people. Now, Myron has this argument where he claims black people are practically, and I'm paraphrasing, but Myron has this argument that basically black people are oversensitive and we're pretty much chipping out because we're letting a word get to us and it's not that serious. It's only a word. A word isn't a reason to put your hands on people, and you can't just punch someone because they say a word. Okay, keep in mind these are his words. He says this type of shit. Fine. Let's do you one better. Let's do you one better.
Chud the Builder.
Talking about haram this, haram that. You're a for that. Murtad, all these other bitch ass shit that if they had told me this shit in person, I'll fucking punch them. Call me Murtad to my face, I'll fucking knock you out. Extremely disrespectful shit. You're a for that. Murtad, all these other bitch ass shit that if they had told me this shit in person, I'll fucking punch them. Call me Murtad to my face, I'll fucking knock you out.
Spewing words,
I'll fucking
predicting his.
For that, Murtad, all these other bitch ass shit that if they had told me this shit in person, I'll fucking punch them. Call me Murtad to my face, I'll fucking knock you out. Extremely disrespectful shit.
Chud the Builder.
Talking about haram this, haram that. You're a for that. Murtad, all these other bitch ass shit that if they had told me this shit in person, I'll fucking punch them. Call me Murtad.
And saying that hacking, some contradicting his statements about Chud the Builder.
Talking about haram this, haram that. You're a for that. Murtad, all these other bitch ass shit that if they had told me this shit in person, I'll fucking punch them. Call me Murtad to my face, I'll fucking knock you out. Extremely disrespectful shit that they would never fucking say to me in person. Murtad, all these other bitch ass shit that if they had told me this shit in person, I'll fucking punch them. Call me Murtad to my face, I'll fucking knock you out. Extremely. Talking about haram this, haram that. You're a for that. Murtad, all these other bitch ass shit that if they had told me this shit in person, I'll fucking punch them. Call me Murtad to my face, I'll fucking knock you out. Extremely disrespectful shit that they.
And this is my point. He just saying shit because it's against black people. He does not like black people whatsoever. I'm making a complete and total full video about this topic. Somebody need to expose this clown as 100-pound soaking wet motherfucker. He is not black. He's hiding behind his dark skin. He is not black whatsoever. He is not African American. He is not African. He is Sudanese. He does not identify with black people. Not at all. Not even a little bit. Yet he continuously says the N-word. And we let him get away with it. Well, society lets him get away with it. The internet lets him get away with it because he physically looks black. He is not black to any degree. Let's continue the video. Like I said, we're going to touch on that topic in another video. It is what it is.
Video act. I know that because it was on video.
Yeah, I haven't seen that video. You have the video?
That's what I'm trying to tell you, bro. Yo, there's video of this, man.
Okay, so there's a video of the guy walking up to him.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, okay, I haven't seen that video.
The police are trying to subpoena it right now. That's why I'm saying all this.
He just lied. He just lied. There is no video of this occurring. The only video that even exists of this occurring is from the courthouse. Myron just fucking lied. Myron just openly fucking lied because he needed something to help validate his biased ass argument in regards to him not liking black people and Chud doing what he personally has been wanting to do for years, but don't have the balls to do. Because he know the results will be some shit like this. And Myron is not built for jail. He's not built for prison. Look at this motherfucker. Look at this motherfucker. Like we didn't even get into it. Like I said, Myron just outright lied. Nobody can find a video of this altercation occurring. The only fucking video that even has this shit occurring is from the courthouse. From the courthouse CCTV, whatever the fuck it is, the surveillance shit. If there was a video of this occurring, that shit would be everywhere. You would have seen it. I would have seen it. Everybody would have seen it. DJ Akademiks would have seen it. Everybody in the chat, both chats would have seen it. Myron just fucking lied.
This act, yo, the dude closed the distance on him, bruh, and then he punched him.
Is there a video of the whole altercation, like the whole, precursor to the altercation?
It shows everything before the altercation, and then on top of that, after he punches him, the camera falls to the floor. So you don't see what happens. You just hear struggling for a few seconds, then shots go off.
Wait.
The camera falls to the floor. So you don't see what happens. You just hear struggling for a few seconds, then shots go off.
Wait. Do you have the video? You could play it?
I don't have it.
Oh, who has it?
Pump Fun, I'll tell you why. Pump Fun deleted it because it heard gunshots. They have automatic AI where if gunshots are heard on a stream, it shuts it down.
So how do we
Like,
have
that's
the info on it if no one's seen it?
What was that?
Wait, how do we have the info on it if like, I'm guessing only these people who live seen it?
Several people in my community saw the live stream. That's why. That's how I know. They watched it.
Ain't no fucking way, boy. Boy, ain't no way, boy.
Ain't no way, boy.
Boy, ain't no way, boy.
Ain't no way, boy. You done
Boy,
got
ain't no
caught
way,
lying.
boy. Boy.
He just got caught lying like a motherfucker. You see? See how that worked? And he's actually about to follow through with this shit. He's about to try and make this shit make sense in some way, shape, or form. He don't give a fuck.
Were there watching it live as this all happened, and then once the shots went off, the stream ended and Pump Fun took it off.
Well, again, I would still disagree with that just based off the arrest warrant. Like what they're saying in the arrest warrant is that this guy is basically automatically on a I am going to inflict damage. Some people might say defensive, the blade of stance or whatever. He's reaching for something. And I'm not gonna lie. If I put this in a vacuum, if I'm standing in front of someone, I have the knowledge that this guy claims he's always armed, and we're getting into it. Yo, say this, yo, I'm triggered by this. If you say it, I'm gonna crash out. And all of a sudden, he's in a bladed stance, and I see him going for this, and I don't have a weapon. I'm either gonna run away, be like, whoa, you got it, or if I'm that bold, I'm trying to make sure you don't get to the weapon. So that in a vacuum, I don't think that backs him up.
Okay, let's assume that the dude sees. Let's use your scenario. You still come at them when they said, "Back up, I got a gun." Wouldn't it be fair to say that if they still strike you after you give them that warning, that they're trying to probably cause serious bodily injury?
I don't know if he's warning him too. See, I don't know if he's warning him, and that's where I think this guy not being dead is going to come back and haunt him, because you know why? When that guy gets on the stand as a victim who's alive and breathing and says, hey, when he says he warned me, and provocation is going to then turn into a very who do you believe, he said, she said. It's going to get racial now, right? Because the guy is going to say, hey, I didn't provoke him, he provoked me. And I'm pretty sure Dalton is going to say, no, he provoked me and he wouldn't walk away.
Okay, the video disproves it, and it shows that the guy walked up to him. And again, after he punched Chud, the camera fell, and we don't know what happened. You could just hear struggling. Then shots fired. So it wasn't one punch.
But from the video, could we see if he has a gun in his hand at that point?
Yeah.
We can't,
because he punched him and the camera fell, and then you hear them struggling on the side.
So there's a possibility that maybe he he only got punched after Dalton grabbed, might be pepper spray, but he grabbed something, and which I think is perfectly normal. There's some people that there's fight and flight, but there's some people that's not fighting. Hey, you go grab for that weapon, you're getting one of these to the face.
Sure, but guess what? He closed the distance, so he has no self-defense case. That's the point. He came up to Judd, lost. And no self-defense on his side.
But you're also that's where you're starting the altercation at. I'm starting the altercation at the conversation.
When he said hello?
Yeah. If I would say, I don't know exactly what he said.
In Myron's version of events, Chud is just this friendly white guy who walked up to these black guys, and he was just interested in understanding what they were laughing about and figured maybe they like my suit. Hey, this motherfucker Myron is so disingenuous. It's fucking ridiculous. I can't stand this motherfucker. Not even a little bit. But it is what it is. Myron is so fucking disingenuous. It's crazy, bro. He don't give a fuck. He don't give a fuck, bro. He hate black people to that degree, bro. But he don't give a fuck. He is saying the most disingenuous shit. It's ridiculous, bro. The comments from his side are funny as shit. They calling him a fucking liar. Like, bro, he's weird. Let's keep going.
But you approaching the guys at first started all of this.
They pointed and laughed at him. Then he came over to say hello. Then they said, get out of here, whatever. He leaves. All right, come on, man. If you really think high counts as provocation, what are we doing here, bro? Come on, man.
The real provocation started where the moment he said, I'm going to be honest with you, the moment he said, oh, or what, you're going to chimp out? I'm going to be honest with you. I think that dude socked him out with one of them ancestor punches. It came from Martin Luther King all the way to Marcus Garvey and Rosa Parks. He had to do it, bro. I can't. Again, yo, listen.
Okay, so
that dude Dalton. No, Dalton provoked him. Dalton should have realized, listen, you're not only provoking a person, you're provoking an entire race of people. Bro, your rhetoric and you IRL streaming, you could have avoided that.
None of that has to do with this use of force situation, bro. You over here talking about MLK. Bro,
no.
None of that has
I'm not saying it was right to punch him, but I understand if Malcolm was like, yo, man, knock this racist ass bum out. Now, after he hits you once, if you want to go with your 3%, like, oh, okay, but what about if he had a pacemaker? He could have been a girl. He can't handle a punch. If that's what you want to go with, by the way, if Dalton had beat him down, you know what I would have said? I promise you. I would have said, yo, y'all black dudes pulling up on Dalton, better know how to squabble, because he's put, you know what? You know how crazy it would have been if he beat that nigga's ass? But no, he's a bitch. He pulled out his gun. He tried to shoot the guy and kill him. And here's the thing. I don't have a problem with you using your weapon, because I have my weapon, and if I need to use it, I want to be able to use it. But don't use it because you're antagonizing shit and can't fight. You're too scared to fight. You're scared of anything physical, and you think that the threat of this thing on your hip is going to protect people from punching you square in the mouth. That's where he had it wrong. If he had squabbled up with this guy, and if the guy reached for a gun, I promise you, I'll be like, yo, yeah, that guy shouldn't have reached for a gun. They know how Dalton get down. Dalton murdered him, left his brain on the pavement. I wouldn't like it, but I'd be like, yo, it is what it is. The guy never pulled a gun. Dalton is an entire pussy. He pulled his gun, and because he can't handle one of these, I'm telling you, it was like an ancestral Black History Month punch.
We gotta, okay, bro. I know you're trolling now at this point.
I'm not trolling.
Yo, nigga, you're trolling. You're on the Henny right now, bro. But bro's
It's
talking about Martin
Espelon.
Luther King and a bunch of shit like that. Yo, come on, man. Let's be serious. In this case, these facts and circumstances, basically, yo, are you saying black people can't have accountability, bro? If you say chimp out, they're gonna hit you. Like, come on, bro. Like, you're perpetuating the stereotypes of everybody says, bro.
No,
oh,
Myron.
you're gonna chimp out and punches them. Like, bro, this is why people are tired of niggas, bro. I gotta keep it 1,000. This is why people are tired of blacks.
No, hold on. But Myron, you
Like,
don't
they can't even take accountability. Imagine a world where saying, hey, you gonna chimp out?
Myron, hold on.
Just punched. What?
Myron, I'm gonna tell you what world that is. The world is, every time I've watched Sneeko, he's like, everybody hold hands, let's come together, let's pray to Allah, this and third. And then I looked over Israel, they put his face on a bomb. Okay? So in the real world, I haven't seen Sneeko done nothing to nobody. But they'll put his face on a bomb and drop it on a city. That's way less than some guy saying a word and getting punched in the face. Yes, when you have words, even if it's not violent, other people meet those words. If they feel what you're saying is violent or disrespectful or offensive, they meet that with violence. Okay? It's not black people, because let me ask you a question. Do you think what that black guy did to Chud, I didn't know Israel was putting Sneeko's name on bombs. What do you think is worse? So when you say that only black people do that, it looked like other people do it too. I think I could Google it. They put Sneeko's name on a bomb, and Sneeko has I've never seen him physically harm anybody that's Jewish. But you know why? He got the rhetoric that they don't like. It's offensive to them. And in their response to that offense is not by saying, you know what, we're mature. They're saying, put his name on a bomb and let's go kill some people. That's true, right?
They put my name on a bomb too.
They think the same about you. That's what I'm saying. So what I'm saying is that you're saying there's only black people that are triggered to violence. Well, what about the Jewish people that you have rhetoric that don't go along with them? They put y'all names on bombs and inflict violence with it. It's not just black people. It's everybody when it comes to offense. People just think that black people are pussy and they should not be able to do anything when they're offended. But when you offend Jewish people, your name is on a bomb.
Okay, so
right?
let me get this straight. Are you comparing a self-defense case to a geopolitical quagmire in the Middle East?
It doesn't start off as a self-defense case. It starts off as one man trying to have racial division. One man who's trying to offend a whole different race. A whole race of people? Yes. Yes. Hold on. All right, wait. Hear what I'm saying. Sneeko is a fucking irrelevant commentator. Why are they putting his name on a bomb? Just like how Chud is an irrelevant streamer. But you know why? Their rhetoric matters that much to the offended people that your name is on a bomb. This guy's rhetoric, Chud, matters that much. That's why you're getting punched in the mouth. Yes, it's the same thing. I get it. You want to say this thing overseas is bigger? Granted, I get it. I get it just boils down to one self-defense case in this situation. But the point is this. If you picked any group of people that have any self-pride and you pick on them and you target them with racial epithets, if you target them with slurs and you try to offend and oppress them, especially using language, at some point, they're going to slap you in your face, punch in your mouth, or put a bullet in your forehead. That's fact.
Okay, again, you're comparing self-defense in America to
I'm comparing offense. I'm comparing offense.
Okay, that is not analogous. Those two things are not analogous whatsoever. Like,
Myron, you're from Sudan. If people said certain things about the Sudan,
in a fight is not the same as
the fight is not the thing. It's the offense. It's the offense because Sneeko has never fought. Here's what I'm saying. If
what does it have to do with self-defense though?
Hear what I'm saying. No, hear what I'm saying. I'm not justifying why somebody punched Chud, but it's the reason why you said black people. That's it. Like, are they not mature enough to not do that? And I said, every race or group of people, when they get enough disrespect, they react violently. Israel, like I guarantee even your people of Sudan, if the disrespect either from neighboring countries or whoever they've, been into it with got to a certain level, violence would occur. So I'm not defending violence, but to act, and that's Sneeko's point, act like, you can say whatever, violence should never come.
You're not defending it, you're justifying it, and that's
no, it's not
point.
Justifying it. It's understand the realities of the world, right? The realities of why Sneeko says, hey, well, listen, why is the FBI publishing this manifesto of the San Diego shooter? Well, didn't you also say that words shouldn't mean nothing? So who cares about the words that this guy said? That's
not my argument. Again, Ak, I'm trying to be very patient on this and just keep.
Okay.
Look, we are debating self-defense in a specific case based around a specific individual in a specific case with a specific pattern of facts. We are not talking about Israel-Palestine. That is completely not analogous to the situation. Your argument is if you talk shit
it's
about
impossible
people
to
that
do.
hold on. your argument, let me make sure I have this correct. You're saying if you talk shit about a group of people who have been oppressed, you deserve to get assaulted. Is that your position?
No, I said at some point you're going to run into someone who will assault you.
Fair. That person that assaults you, shouldn't they go to jail?
Depend on what disrespect you're doing and how much you're feeding into it. For example, hold on. For example,
he didn't disrespect them though. He walked away.
For example, if this guy was just online, there's another racist guy. No.
Hold on. No.
We're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into that. No.
Bro, he didn't provoke this guy.
Wait. No, Myron, we're gonna get into that. What I'm trying to say is that there's another guy. He even fought on Aiden's brand risk event. He's not outside provoking black people. He stays in his room. He gets on Monkey. He says the N-word. He says whatever. Like, people don't like it, right? But there isn't this guy who's now provoking maybe a possible physical altercation, because he understands the more you say that you keep stepping outside and doing it in people's faces. Yes. By the way, I've always said the person who's going to do something to this guy, they're going to acknowledge that they're getting an assault charge. Of course. Yes. They're going to say, you know what? I'm going to take a simple assault and go get 100,000 on GoFundMe. That's what Chud even responded to me with, because I said, listen, I'm not saying it's legal for someone to do it, but when you offend a group, and trust me, I know people think that, whether it's African Americans or black people, but I feel like he's attacking people that share black skin. It's not even about, it's one thing if you're like,
Act, you're stripping all the accountability from black people, and what you're arguing right now is if you insult a black person, you should expect to get punched, and that's the problem.
Okay, so I'll say this unequivocally on the record.
Like, bruh,
if you insult black people as a collective consistently, expect something bad to happen to you. I just don't know who will be the radical who do it.
Fair.
Just like if you insult Muslims, some guy is going to blow you up, maybe. I don't know.
Okay, let's go with that. You're saying if you talk shit about black people,
yeah,
right? You're saying it's not legal, but someone's going to hurt you. Fair?
Yes, any group.
Okay. Do you have the right to defend yourself if that happens then?
You do.
Case closed. You lost.
No.
All right. That's it, bro.
Whoa.
Case closed.
No.
Case closed, bro.
Wait. Hold on.
Like,
wait. You're missing a bunch of things. I'll use personal examples. Okay, people might think I antagonize rappers, right? People might think I antagonize rappers.
Closed.
No, because you miss a bunch of steps. If I go out to like a Lil Baby concert and I try to engage with him and antagonize him, right? And then he does something, or someone with him does something, then I react. At that point, I'm provoking him. You see, that's what we have to understand about the people like Chud and others. You're provoking people in real life, not behind your computer, in real life, in their face, and the stakes are usually getting a fight or getting shot. So this idea of like for example, no, if someone broke into Chud's house and killed him, I wouldn't be like, oh, this is great. I'd be like, oh, that's actually a problem. That's not a good thing, right? Like, again, if he's not in the act of provoking someone, I don't think someone should murder the guy. I wouldn't stand for that.
You don't provoke though.
Well, that's where we're gonna have a difference of opinion. I think every time that boy stepped out in public with a camera in hand, he was always provoking. Always.
That's irrelevant. He did not provoke on the day this incident happens. That's all that matters, Ak. The only thing that matters, Ak, is did he provoke him on that day?
Yeah, but
the answer is no. And by your
the
own
answer is no for you.
Even if you're
No. I'll tell you why it's no for you, because you've already stated on the record if someone said the N-word to you, you wouldn't feel that offended. If someone said it to me, that would be beyond fighting words. And I'm a nonviolent person.
All right.
So again, I'm gonna be honest with you. If I ran into Dalton, I would almost think any unwarranted conversation with them is him provoking me. I know who you are. I know what you do. We have nothing to talk about, Dalton. We have nothing to talk about, Dalton.
All right. Okay, you say that. Dalton, I don't fuck with you. Okay, have a good day. Walk away. Are you justified in walking up to him again and saying, yeah, I got PTSD.
That might
Call
get,
me-
if that's what it is, that might get it sticky a little bit. But what I'm
That's what happened.
Yeah, but that's
what
hold on.
happened.
You're acting like this is like a slam dunk exoneration case. I'm saying that based on everything we've mentioned a lot right now. I think he has at best 15% really good explanations for a few hurdles he has to get out of, right? I told you the main hurdles. Using deadly force. Did you incite or provoke? Again,
No.
all right. So again, if everything falls your way, I still don't see this as oh, this is 85% he beats it. I see this as 15% and if things fall his way and we find out more facts. I'm not saying he can't, but all I wanted you to admit was that you see people are supporting this guy because they're emboldened by him because they would never do what he did. But you also are doing a disservice by not just admitting what he did was fucking stupid. He played the dumbest game, and right now, I know a guy got shot, he's recovering, but he's sitting in jail, eating a bunch of bullshit, and the prosecutors want to keep him till his trial.
We're going all over the place, bro. We got to keep it factual, okay? On this, I'm making the argument on this specific narrow scope of this self-defense argument. Now, when it comes to self-defense, bro, there's 5 checks, okay? Innocence, imminence, proportionality, avoidance, and reasonableness. And I'll go through each of them. Innocence. Did he have a right to be there? Yes. Imminence. Did he get attacked, or was there a reasonable expectation that there might be some serious bodily injury? Yes. He got punched. Avoidance.
Wait, hold on. Wait.
You gotta let me finish.
No, because you're about to skip past point 2. Point 2 works for both parties.
Hold on. There's 5 things in self-defense. Literally, I had this talk with a self-defense lawyer.
No, I'm agreeing with you. I'm just saying point 2 works for both parties. You're only thinking about Chud because you're aligned with Chud mostly. If you're saying that there was an imminent, I think I even tweeted out. I said everybody should approach this guy with caution. He is sending out rhetoric and he is saying he is down to commit murder. If anyone has that knowledge, when they see him, there is imminent threat. Why does that not apply to the person that would be on the opposite side of the gun? How come only Dalton could feel threatened?
No. Again, let's go through it one more time. Innocence, was he legally there? Yes. Okay. Imminence, he got punched in the face. Okay. Proportionality, we can have an argument about that one because we don't know how many what went down after the camera fell. Avoidance, he tried to walk away. Reasonableness, well, we don't know what Dalton knew at the time he pulled the trigger. But for all the other things, right, he pretty much had a right to be there, and that other guy closed the gap on him, punched him.
That's the only point you've made. He had a right to be there, but the other thing seems like it's going to be heavily debated, and that's where I say, like, I see a bunch of these guys.
Okay, so you don't think he followed him? You don't think he followed him?
I don't think that has nothing to do with a threat. If you say something to me, hold on, Myron, hold on. If you're walking by and you say something and I don't hear it, right? I'm making up a fake scenario. And I walk over to you and I'm like, bro, what'd you say? So now you're saying that I'm not a threat. Myron, I don't know, maybe like your audience is like looking from a different, I feel like you're arguing the unpopular position here. I have seen self-defense lawyers who say, hey, listen, no, it is possible for him to beat. But no one is saying that, oh, this is like clear self-defense. And that's what you're kind of like trying to put across is like, no, it's not. This guy's an idiot. He actually put himself in a position and had a misunderstanding of the law.
Give me your. So let's go through this. I gave you gave you the facts that were told to me by eyewitnesses that watched the stream. For those that just joined, here's the fact pattern. He's there by the courthouse. He sees some people pointing at him. He walks up to them, says hello. One of them makes a comment about get the fuck out of here. He's like, okay, I could be wherever I want. Walks away. One of the people that said that walk up to him. As he walks up to him, he gets right in his face, almost nose to nose, says, hey, say that shit to me, see what happens. I got PTSD. And then Chud says, oh, or what? You're going to chimp out? As soon as he says that, punched, camera falls to the floor. We hear some struggle, some sound from there. You hear Chud saying, like, get him off me, blah, blah. And then you hear shots fired, right? So that's the fact pattern that eyewitnesses told me. Now, what's your fact pattern? Because I think that's why me and you are not agreeing. What's your fact pattern?
So, it was always, from what I've seen online, He's I don't know if he's walking outside court or whatever, but he's there. He puts these guys on camera. Maybe they were laughing at him, maybe they weren't. And he's saying whatever he's saying. One of them.
What did he say though? This is important. What did he say though?
Well,
this is super important.
Not too sure if that's important. Well, let me finish the rest, and you tell me if it's important.
All right.
Basically, it's at that point because these guys turned down having a conversation with him. Like, we're good. We don't want to talk, right? So, like, okay, let's say he's saying what's up. They don't want to talk, right? And they basically then tell him, like, hey, listen, we've seen some of the stuff you do. Hey, if you do that type of stuff with us, or maybe the guy said himself, if you do that with me, I have PTSD. It's not going to turn out good. Chud then says that. After that, the dude assaults him, 100%. Chud, after getting assaulted, pulls out a gun and tries to execute the man.
Okay.
What it says is that man is guilty of assault, but Chud is guilty of attempted murder. He tried to murder a guy who did not, it is not proportional force. He just literally is a trigger-happy thug.
Keep in mind, the police did not have the pump fund when they made the arrest because they literally made the arrest within hours. They did not have the pump fund stream at that point.
They had him in custody for hours. They had him in custody for hours, and they heard his side and the guy's side.
Footage. Yeah, they didn't have the footage though. That's the point. And again, like I said, high-profile cases like this, racially charged, they're going to go ahead. Now, let's go back through your scenario because there's a couple things that are missing. You said he went up to them and said hello. Fair? You agree with that?
Yeah.
What else did he say?
Second? My bad.
Okay, so let's go through your fact pattern again. He walks up to them. What did he say?
You saying what up? Like, yo, let's go with y'all. You're trying to start a conversation.
Okay, they say get the fuck out of here. Then what?
Then he continues. So he continues to, I don't believe he just walks away. I believe he continues to try to engage, and that's when, because it would make no sense. Why say get the fuck out of here if you're going to try to stalk him down to try to engage with him?
Okay, let me see here. Because I got the thing here from someone that watched the stream. So do you agree that the guy followed him?
No. I think the guy approached him, but if you want to call that following, maybe. But the guy approached him after turning it down that he does not want to do a conversation with Chud.
Okay, so because this is very important, Act. We have to make sure we have this part rock solid. He comes up, says hello. They say get out of here. He walks away. Did the guy follow him or not in your narrative?
I think the guy approached him, and that's what I'm saying. I don't think he walked away.
Did he approach him as Chud was walking away?
I don't believe that. I think Chud was trying to have a conversation.
So you think he just stood there the whole time? You don't think he walked away?
Stood there or in the vicinity, not clearly like, hey, I'm trying to not deal with you guys anymore, because his job is to get these altercations, my nigga. Like, he's not
okay.
Like, I've watched him again. We have to use some of his past. Again, we're assuming here, but we got to use some of his past against him. It's not like he's like, hey, you guys want to talk? And they say, have you ever seen that where he says, hey, y'all want to talk? And they say no, and he says, oh, okay, later. He usually pushes a conversation. I've seen him with a white guy where he says, oh, you must be an N-word lover. Oh, blah, blah, blah. Oh, you one of them liberal cucks. Like, he pushes the conversation. That's what gets him clicks. He's not the, hey, let me invite you for a mutually engaging conversation. If you're down to do it, let's talk. If you're not down to do it, I'll walk away peacefully. That's what you've seen about Chud?
Yeah, I'm going to show you what I mean now, because I literally, I'll show you the tweet, and other people in my community confirm this for me. Let me share a screen and show you real fast. All right, can you see that on your screen?
Yeah.
Okay, so this comes from the facts according to over 100 witnesses watching the stream. Chud told the guy, I hope your day gets better, God bless. Chud had already walked away. It was about 70 to 100 yards away. The man went out of his way to run up to Chud while his back was turned. He confronted Chud. He punched Chud in the face. Chud didn't instigate anything. That's basically what happened. And this comes from over 100 witnesses that saw the live stream.
100 witnesses looking from his POV, but the arrest warrant comes from the police officers looking at surveillance. Come on. Like,
no, well,
I'm not gonna be like, hey, I believe the cops with everything, but it's like, hey, So when did they observe him in a bladed stance reaching for a weapon? They didn't, right? Because it's his POV. They don't know what's happening behind the camera or to the side or the peripheral of the camera.
Like I said before, he has mace. Uses mace.
Mace or not, as you said, is what the person thought at the time. Hey, this guy says he's leaving a chimp's brain on the pavement. I'm not thinking he's reaching for mace. I'm thinking he's reaching for a gun. So yeah, I socked him in the mouth.
That doesn't justify you walking up to them, punching them. Like, that's what I'm trying to tell you. Like, Chud has the right to defend himself. If the guy comes back towards him and he takes a bladed stance and reaches, he has the right to do that. And the dude still got in his face. Bro, the guy you're defending is wrong in every way. You cannot initiate the altercation and walk up to him. Chud walked away. He disengaged.
Hold on. I'm not saying the guy was right. What I'm saying is that I think he should be charged with assault, and Chud has the right charges. Attempted murder. Hey, the point is this.
Himself.
You should not. You cannot shoot. Listen, you got punched in the face. Listen. We should probably. I want a lawyer to actually like. And again, we're not talking about this 1% possibility. Like, oh no, it was a girl. What about if the person weighed twice the amount? What about if they have a pacemaker? What about if like they just can't take?
That's not my argument.
On a balance of probabilities, if you get punched. Like, again, a lot of people look at you in terms of, yo, Myron knows the law. You would not recommend to your audience that if they are legally licensed to carry a gun, if they got punched, they should shoot the person. That would be just sending them to jail. It doesn't work like that.
Again, getting punched in the face, the reaction to that is relative and subjective. This is why the law is written where... Is it reasonable? Me and you do not know the facts of what happened after he punched. When I talked about the pacemaker and the women, that's not the point, Act. The point was to establish that you even made concessions and said, oh, well, those people might have a justification to use deadly force. That proves my point. So is it reasonable based on the individual that was assaulted, bro? That's all it is.
No,
you're really complicating this.
No. Me agreeing with you is like saying, hey, listen, yes, in any self-defense, if you're going to use self-defense as a thing, you could probably try to justify it. My thing to you was, hey, could you, if on a balance of probabilities on how often you think that would be successful? I'm not saying it won't be successful here, but would you give the opinion or the advice to someone that potentially is in Chud's position? Let's say we're removing other variables. We're just going to call them unknown. We don't know who approached who. We don't know whatever. All we know is a punch to the face. All we know is a punch to the face. Do you advise a person who has a weapon to shoot the other person, or do you not? Let's remove all other variables. We're going to say unknown at this point. Only thing we know is someone got punched in the face. On a balance of probabilities, you have 100 people in your chat, 100 people in my chat. Would you tell them that shooting someone after that, you'll probably be free? Or would you say, see ya in 20 years? Which one would you give the advice of?
I would say it depends on what you felt and saw at the time.
It's always going to depend. I'm asking you for a general thing about, hey, listen, if we don't know the circumstances, most likely if you do this when you get punched, you're either going to be exonerated or you're probably going to go to jail unless.
See, here's the thing. When it comes to self-defense, it's different for every single person. What's reasonable for you to use deadly force might not be reasonable for me to use deadly force. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but Myron,
it's relative.
You're not. I'm trying to ask this general. I know. I'm not. Again, I'm not sitting here saying that self-defense cannot work even in this situation. I'm saying on a balance of probabilities, if you're a law enforcement agent, let's say you've gotten 100 cases in front of you, right? And all you saw in the details was person A got punched, he pulled his weapon and shot person B. Would you think yes, every case is going to have some nuance, but would you think mostly, hey, that person is within his right? So generally, do you think that person is within his right? Or it would be an extraordinary circumstance that that person's within his right, even though they could be. But most likely, if you respond to a punch with a gunshot, you're going to jail. That's all I'm asking.
Okay. Did they try to punch again, or did they back off?
I told you we only know one thing. We only know one thing.
If he, in a magical scenario, if you walk up, punch him, and then immediately back up or run away, it would be harder to justify self-defense. But we know that didn't happen. Why? Because the camera falls and you hear them struggling and fighting. So the one punch scenario you're giving is not in this case.
Myron,
here's the fact. Here's look.
You're avoiding it so much. You're avoiding
it.
No, because you're not giving a simple answer. All right, hold on. You're not giving it a simple answer. All right, I'm going to make it even simpler. The question here is proportionality. Could a punch, generally, could a punch being escalated to a return of gunfire be seen most likely in random cases as proportional? Is that like a no-brainer, or is it like, for it to be seen, we got to know the other things because, wow, again, certain things are...
We have to know the other things. If you're going to... There's a reason why proportionality is not the only factor in self-defense. There's 5.
Okay, I agree with you. 5. So you're agreeing that there is a tremendous leap, and this is not proportional, but you do think that the other circumstances might actually justify proportionality, correct? Okay,
yes.
and to that I say, it becomes the point of we're not talking about generalities no more. You're talking about that 10% chance. So, fine,
self-defense, what I'm telling you, self-defense is inherently not general. That's what I'm trying to explain to you. Self-defense is inherently not general. And the reason why it's not general is because everyone else has different facts and circumstances that were going through their mind at the time they pulled the trigger.
Self-defense with a weapon.
That's
that
why.
is. If self-defense generally is reciprocal, if you ask me. Like, for example, if you're minding your business and a guy comes and attacks you and you beat him to a bloody pulp, right? You've defended yourself with your fists or your feet, and he attacked you with his fists and his feet, right?
Okay,
that
so
is proportional. In most cases where it gets charged is usually, okay, it's not proportional or it's really not self-defense at all. But
okay,
I was arguing about fist and gun. Fist, gun.
All right, again. Fist versus gun, okay? When it comes to proportionality, you cannot measure off of just proportionality. If you're going to just try to compare an apple to an orange, yeah, then it wouldn't match up. But that's not how self-defense works.
I'm saying generally. I'm saying generally, though.
There's no generality when it comes to self-defense because everyone's different.
Myron, you realize this is a point you make. You make this point on After Hours all the time.
Can a punch kill you, bro? Can one punch kill you?
In a 2% chance, yes. But are we talking about 2%? That's the point. You make this point a lot on After Hours, where it's like, hey, listen, we could nuance every conversation to, I got this one friend, she got married to her guy don't cheat. And it's like, bitch, shut up. Like, we're talking generally here.
Right, bro. Nuance is the name of the game in self-defense. You cannot remove nuance when it comes to self-defense because every single self-defense case is different. There's no such thing as generalities when it comes to self-defense. If there was generalities with self-defense, we would all be in fucking jail, bro. Because
nuance exists. Nuance exists, but the success rate is
nuance is an inherent component to self-defense. It is literally inextricable.
No, nuance is the percentage of the win rate of those circumstances, right? So when I say there's a 15%, it means in general, most times you see self-defense, when things get ruled as self-defense, whether it's charged or not, we usually see proportional activities. I punch you, you punch me. If I get knocked out, hey, you punched him first. Self-defense. That's generally what happens, and no charges get filed. The nuanced cases is where the charges get filed. You shot him. He punched you. Okay, maybe there is a valid argument for you shooting him, but it's at least not valid enough that you go on charge. A straight self-defense case that is general, you don't get charged for. If somebody shot at you, right? You're outside, somebody shot at you, you pull your weapon, you shoot him in the head. You think you're getting charged like Chud? No, because that's the general self-defense. But when it gets to this nuance thing, was he really provoked? Oh, did he use too much force? That's when you're battling a lawsuit.
Right. Act. Let me ask you this. Does being charged mean you're guilty?
No, but it's
perfect. So if being charged doesn't necessarily mean you're guilty, because you're making an argument, if you punch someone or someone punches you and you pull out a gun and shoot them, you're probably going to get arrested. All right, fair. But here's the thing. Does that mean you are guilty? That's the big key. Probable cause, bro, is down here, okay? Beyond a reasonable doubt is up here. So it's going to be on the state to prove that he didn't act in self-defense. The state has the burden. So
I agree, but Myron, you're making my point. So you're right. You're making my point in the fact that you're right. Yes, it doesn't mean he's automatically guilty. And also, I just said that because it's a nuance.
Being charged means nothing.
Hold on. It does mean something because right now he's not free. And again, here's my overall point. He played a stupid game, and the stupid game is because he's now in this nuance clusterfuck. If he because he's in this nuance clusterfuck, it is a reason why he lost. Even if he beats the case, you're in this nuance clusterfuck because you're an idiot.
Okay. See, notice how you just made it. You shifted the goalpost and made it more personal. And you're saying, well, even if it is self-defense, he's stupid for being in this situation. That's not what I'm here to argue.
No, I didn't necessarily say that.
You literally just said he's stupid because he's in jail right now. He got charged.
No, because he's stupid because I've been trying to get you to say generally. Like if I had to give advice to my audience, if you have a gun on you and someone punches you, don't shoot him. If you shoot him, hold on. Here's the thing. If you shoot him, you should be willing to go sit in jail for months, potentially years, fighting that case. Again, so that's my thing. I'm telling the safe way to handle things. You're not down to call this guy exactly what he is, a straight up pussy. He got punched, and now he shot someone, and even if he doesn't get found guilty, he's in a position because the law doesn't exactly exonerate him on face value. If it was something where he punched the guy back out, even if he punched him and the guy died, self-defense, he doesn't go to jail.
Okay. Would it be, do you agree? Well, it's not even that you agree. You know that use of force, lethal use of force, is based on reasonableness, right?
Yes.
Okay. So what one punch is to one person, right? You should be squabbling versus another punch to someone else might be lethal force. It's contingent on the individual, bro.
And I've said repeatedly, you're arguing a 15% point. Like the majority of Americans, if we go do a poll, because these are the people who are going to be on the jury. If we do a random poll, we can do it in your chat. Hold on. Wait.
People get arrested for using. Anytime you get in a shooting, bro, even if you're in the right, you're going to get arrested 90% of the time.
I know you got a couple thousand in there. We have a couple thousand in here. We should do a poll, get at least 2,000 votes. Just these two facts. Again, we could argue the other facts. Is using a gun after you've gotten punched self-defense? And I guarantee most people would say no. That's not like killing somebody.
You're isolating a very specific point without adding context, and we cannot assess a self-defense case off of that alone.
And to that point, I say that's a 15% thing, because now you're using like these nuances to try to justify, which is like, no, let's analyze the generalities. If you see on face value that someone used a gun, yeah, that's for a punch. That's something that it better have so much nuance to it. I don't think it does. You think it does? I don't think it does have so much nuance to it. You think you do?
You want me to look this up?
Go ahead.
You want me to look it up?
Look up what? Go
Okay.
ahead.
Hold on. Let me pull this shit up right now. What is the percentage of people arrested after self-defense shooting on probable cause?
Unarmed. You also got to mention that someone attacks you unarmed, you shoot him, kill him, and they do not get an arrest.
Again, you do realize that your hands can be considered a deadly weapon. Like
No, absolutely.
Because you just said earlier, oh, you beat somebody within a bloody pulp. Like that proves that hands can be a deadly weapon.
You're right.
Like okay,
this is a specific
it's not really
two-way
the weapon,
thing.
It's the use of force that matters. It doesn't whether it's a gun, a knife, your fist. It doesn't really matter what the weapon is. It's how are you using said weapons and what you're trying to effectuate.
If someone punches you in the mouth, and again, like I don't know if you're trying to get this other nuance. Oh, he beat we saw Chud's mugshot. He doesn't look like. Matter of fact, I think that bozo shot himself. Like, to keep it real,
He got a mark on his head.
Yeah, well, I guess the other guy got a bullet wound too, so we don't know what that guy got.
Which proves that he did get hit. So it's like,
yeah, of course he got hit.
Know where,
he got a little right hand, and again, it's about where you fall in the matter. By the way, I'm cool with either. I'm cool either because I carry a gun. I would love if the law was if somebody touches you, you put him 10 feet below the ground. That's just not the law. Because I would walk around with my hand on that thing.
Yes,
but that's not the law. The law is that if somebody touches you at all, or you know what I mean? Like, say somebody says, oh, you Myron, and they swing on you, you shoot them dead. You can't, bro. You're going to jail.
Here's the thing. It depends. It's nuanced. On face value, you say, yo, somebody comes up and swings at you, you can't just shoot him. Okay. Did he have other people with him? Did he say, I'm going to kill you? Did he say, did he try to swing at me or hit me in right in the face or in the back of the head? Like, was there somewhere else? Like, was it late at night? All these different factors come in, bro. Like, what you're trying to do.
By the way, you're creating these factors for Chud. It doesn't exist. All right, he got one mark here. Let's say he gets punched directly in the face here. Could he shoot the guy? You're not trying to just denounce it. If he gets punched one hard time, could he shoot the guy? We're making this up. We don't know the full thing. But if he gets punched, hey, yo, if you say that one more time, I'm going to blah, 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 I'm going to crash out. Oh, if I say you're chimping out, bang! Could you shoot him?
If someone punches you, you can absolutely justify shooting them based on the context. Yes. One punch can justify deadly force, bro. What?
I'm not saying it can't. Hold on. You see, but you're arguing. I keep saying, when you say that, you're arguing 15%. If someone punches you, like just normal, like you're acting like, oh, if they punch you and you're about to like pass, I get it, bro.
You're just guessing that.
We have no reason to not guess it. The guy was coherent enough to still talk on stream, bro. Like, you're giving him a list of circumstances that he's not even asked for yet. I'm asking you generally. Generally, if someone punched you, you're still of able and sound mind, and you shoot them, are you going to jail or are you going to be kicking it on the stream next day?
Here's the case right here. Okay? Chud went to the courthouse on official business. People say he was there for civil matter. I don't really know.
His fan page.
Hold on. This is someone that literally watched on the live stream. This is his statement he gave. Okay? I don't really know what it was for, but makes sense considering he was well dressed in a suit. He's just taking a stroll, talking about his upcoming interview with Harrison Smith from Infowars, saying how it's good to just take a stroll before giving an interview. He notices a black couple pointing at him, and he walks past them and asks if they are having a good day, and they like his suit. And if they like his suit, really just trying to have a conversation with them because they initiated by pointing at him, so he's curious to know what's up. After he asks how they're doing, the guy responds with "get out of here" or something to the effect that, and Chud says, "I'm free to be where I want to be." Black dude says something else, and Chud simply walks away. As Chud walks away, the black guy tells him he has PTSD, and then he won't put with him. I think it means put up with him, calling him. Says, "What? Are you gonna chimp out?" Chud is still recording, but walking away. That's when you can see the black guy stand up from about 50 to 60 feet away from Chud. I don't know exactly how many feet, but it was quite a significant distance, and he begins to advance towards Chud. Chud stops walking, and the black guy catches up to Chud, and they're in each other's faces, literally inches apart. Mace me, trying to provoke Chud. See, there he goes. Chud told him, I'm going to mace you. So there you go. We have more evidence because Chud always carries mace. So he maced me trying to provoke Chud. And when he gets no response from Chud, he punches Chud in the head. The camera is then knocked to the ground. Seconds later, you can hear 4 or 5 gunshots pop off. Then you can hear people running towards them and Chud saying, "Get him off me." The rest of the audio you can find online if you look around, but that's what I saw happen live on stream. Did Chud use any slurs? No. Never use a single racial slur whatsoever besides, "Or are you going to chimp out?" So how important do you think the live stream footage is? And he goes, if it comes out, he's going to be exonerated. And keep in mind, the police did not have the live stream when they wrote that arrest warrant that you're talking about. They did not have the live stream.
Okay, and I'm down to put a friendly bet that this is all cap. I've looked at this guy's account while you're reading this. He's calling black people watermelon eating monkeys. Like, this guy's just as bad. He's like Chud except on the internet. So I'm pretty sure he wouldn't see any interaction. I wouldn't see any.
Dude,
yes,
this is someone. He interviewed somebody that saw the stream. This isn't the guy.
Yeah,
this dude
I wouldn't
right
take his account for it. I wouldn't take his account for it. That's what I'm saying. If the video says all of this, I might change my mind. But would I listen to this guy? Go on his page and scroll down a bit. He clearly don't like black people either. What I'm saying is
that's fine. He doesn't have to like black people. I got people in my chat, bro, in my community that told me they watched the video.
So how come no one has this recording? Because at this point, I'm guessing that if someone was watching that recording, the guy gets like 200 viewers on Pump Fun. They're probably racist already. So again, I just want to see the video. Maybe the video actually says, if the video is all this, I might have a different, we would have a different conversation if this was, oh, he said no racial slurs. The guy was probably, let's say that, like, we're making this up, right? But let's say the guy is, he's kind of extra amped up because, there's a lot of hatred for Chud online, and he's pushing the issue because he wants to see if Chud will try him, and basically he just punches Chud. I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, yeah, no, whatever. Now, I don't like Chud, but I'm not going to say that Chud is guilty. But from everything that we're seeing, like, again, I'm going off the arrest warrant. I'm going off, there's other people who have said whatever, and also the video that shows him kind of tangling on the ground doesn't look like Chud was like, nah, get me out of here, get him off of me. It looked like Chud was giving that nigga the beats. I'm going to be honest. Chud was giving that man the beats.
Again, that was after the shooting. But look, we can wait until the footage comes out, but this is, the reason why I told you this is because I've heard this same exact story from several people, not just on X, but in my own community that I trust. So that's why I know that's why I've heard the story before, and go ahead.
But that's like an echo chamber. Like, half of those people that are watching this, it's either they have a severe dislike for what they feel is black people acting a certain way, or they feel emboldened by Chud. There's so many people who they're too pussy to do it. Right, like,
bro, 1/3 of my audience is black. Literally 1/3 of my
means nothing.
1/3 black, 1/3 Hispanic.
I'll give you an example. I'll give you an example. Like, you go out and you do the college things, and I think that's why I think it's blown up way past your after hours stuff. I think what you do now is really good, but you got to be careful. But the only reason I say that is that there's so many people that wish, well, they've always done that with you. They wish they could talk to women like you. They wish they could talk to Jew people like you. They wish they could do that in real life. You are doing it. So a lot of people, they might even be Jewish themselves or whoever. You kind of embolden them to be like, he's the guy that's doing what we can't do. You're humbling the bitches who think they're too good. What Chud is doing or was doing was, there was a lot of people, whether they were ever black, because you know what, there's some people who are black that disassociate with that, like, he ain't talking about me. Oh, chimping out, that's not me. Like, no, when he says chimping out, it's not just an action. Maybe if it wasn't him saying it with the racial context, maybe chimping out could just be an action. Chimping out means black behavior. Let's be honest, right? Like, and again, he's talking about people that share that skin color, but there's still people that say, nah, he's not talking about me. He's talking about y'all ghetto black people. Y'all black people who choose gangs. Y'all love violence, the ratchet motherfuckers. And we all kind of do that disassociating to a certain extent. I don't like to be associated with ratchet motherfuckers who black, but at the end of the day, this Chud dude, you could tell his whole thing was he was saying it about all black people, bro. Like, this wasn't like he was like, oh, I hate gang members.
So okay, so let's assume all that is true.
Yeah.
It still doesn't justify the black dude from punching him.
No, we're not saying it's justified, but I thought it was inevitable. I thought it was inevitable, and I thought he got off light. I actually thought somebody was gonna. I thought somebody was gonna execute him.
Okay. But does he still have a right to defend himself?
Yeah, no, he does. He does proportionally, of course.
Case closed.
No,
Case
proportionally.
Closed.
That's not proportional.
Case closed.
Yeah, hold on.
We again, we don't know. We don't know because we didn't see
I'll
it.
concede the first part. I'm continuing to tell you proportionally because let me tell you this. I would love to see this case materialize, and I can't wait till it goes to trial because I'm telling you, it's a reason why I got 3 different gun permits to try to carry in every single state. That if I happen to not have my 2 or 3 security guards with me and I see somebody playing with me and they do something, and if they even breathe a fucking like a list of hot air on me, I want to be able to murder them right there. Of course, that would be amazing. I'll go live right there, but that's not legal. It's just not legal, brother. You just can't murder people because they punched you. Like I wish this could.
Let me ask you this then, Ak. Let's say Rory walks up on you and hits you in the back of the head and you're armed. What are you doing?
Oh, I'm fighting him. Deadass.
Okay, you're gonna squabble up after he hits you in the back of the head and you're disoriented and all that other stuff.
Well, okay,
After he chases after you?
no. Well, okay, so you've created this different scenario where like I'm like, what the fuck? Like I get that. No. Then I'm shooting him. You're right.
Because you're saying a punch. Because boom,
Okay.
there you go, bro. You don't even want to fight, nigga.
Hold
Come
on.
on,
No.
Come on, Ak.
Because you've now
Come on, Ak.
no, you've
Come
now
on,
hold on.
man.
You've now created a situation where you're saying I'm damn near unconscious. The dude just got punched, bro. Like, yo, play this. Little baby's man's. Hold on.
Rory,
All right, hold on.
if
Let me ask you a
Rory
question.
came
Let me
up
ask you a
to you,
question.
bro.
No.
You're not squabbling.
No.
That nigga punched
You
in the
created
back.
a
You're pulling
scenario.
out the gun,
You
bro.
created a scenario that you're about to be unconscious. That's what you did. I got swung at by Lil Baby's cameraman. You think I could say, let's hop out the car and murder this nigga right here? The cops is right across the street, by the way, too. Would I be, hold on, let me ask you a question, because this is going to tell me. So Lil Baby's man, right, he swung at me, right? Now I am, whatever you want to say, I'm in fear of everything, right?
Sure.
It's a swing. Am I disoriented? I wasn't even hit. Can I murder him or not? All right, let's see. I'm hit. Oh, shit. Can I murder him? Right there.
If you had reasonable belief that you might get serious bodily injury, you absolutely can. You absolutely can.
I've gone over this story even with my team. So there was one person that was outside that, because my security drove off. They felt, because he had a bag with him, they felt he had a gun. And they didn't have their gun.
So wait, what did you do when he swung on you? What did you do when
the
he
security
swung on
drove
you?
off because he swung into the car because he swung because he saw the car moving. So we're having this conversation. It's not going nowhere.
So okay, so y'all are you're in a car. He's not even in the car.
You're not in the car. You're in the car. But,
Okay. How about this? Let's say he got in your. Let's say you're not in a car.
Yeah.
He walks right up to you, punches you in the face. What are you doing? You squabbling?
Oh, we swapping.
Catch.
Yes.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Here's the thing, though. So after full discussion of everything that happened, because one of my guys who was still there, but he was in another car, he said, yo, the dude was kind of almost like he was acting like he was clutching. But remember, you told us we couldn't bring our shit in the club, so he didn't have his joint. His shit was in his car. Anyway, long story short. At that point, I'm like, yo, if you thought he had a gun, I'm like, of course, you do what you got to do with the fuck. If you think, if he's like kind of, because I think he was kind of like pump faking with one of my people or whatever. If you think he has a weapon on him, yeah, but like just a swing, bro, you can't murder someone. Bro, I would love to have murdered the nigga. Like I would have done it myself.
Bro, that wasn't just a swing though. It was a swing that connected.
If I listened to you, I would have murdered that nigga right now. And listen, Lil Baby's a dumb nigga, not me. I'm gonna get him in jail, not myself.
Bro, bro, you're in a car and the guy missed the swing.
Yeah.
But again, we don't know when the guy.
Bro, hold on. If I was legal to shoot him, I would have killed him on the spot and I would have said I got hit. Deadass. But you can't do that, my nigga. I would have literally said, oh, he did hit me. Bro, he's online saying he hit me. I would have said he hit me, murdered him, and then I would have been doing some 4PFK shit. Nigga, I fuck them niggas.
That's you would go to jail because you lied. But this one, we have footage of the guy punching you. We literally
there's no video of the swing. So it's literally me and my bodyguard and like people in the car.
You're gonna need witnesses.
All right, so they're all gonna back me up. He did hit me. He did hit me, and I murdered him.
Okay, but that's not analogous to this because Chud actually did get hit.
Hold on, I'm gonna tell you why.
Hold
on, I'm gonna tell you why I would have went to jail. Right, I'm gonna tell you why. The dude swings because the dude is having this conversation, sucking Lil Baby's dick, and your bodyguard starts driving off. He swings because the car is moving. Let's say he does hit you. So you have a clear way to get away, and then you hop out and reacting to a swing, you take out a gun and murder him? You're going to jail, gang. Like, come on, bro.
Yeah.
You're going to
That's
jail.
not the fact pattern. Bro, that is literally not the fact pattern whatsoever with Chud.
How? Bro, he gets hit. He gets punched in the face and he shoots
Bro,
a man.
Like you were in a car. Come on, Ack. You can't. Yo,
No.
Daddy's killing you right now, bro. Yo, come on, Ack.
But nobody's killing Chud. That's the point.
You're in a moving car. You're in a moving car. Like,
Nobody's killing Chud neither.
The dude punched him.
Yo, Myron, bro. Myron,
Bro,
one punch and you kill a guy.
connected.
Yo, stop. Myron,
okay.
stop it, bro.
All right, man. Bro, man.
Yo, Myron, hold on. Myron. You got a lot of haters. And I'm asking you this because I'm going to be honest with you, because I fuck with you and you're my guy, I would hope you don't make this decision because it would hurt me so bad. If you see one of these haters, you got mad haters, and they be like, oh, ain't you that guy I be seeing on TikTok? You be like, oh, what do you mean? Be like, yo, you be the one that's saying X, Y, and Z. And then you try to you try to chuckle and be like, yo, what's up, bro? And he just punches you and you got your gun. Are you going to shoot him?
If I'm disoriented and
You're not disoriented, bro. Like, let's not make this up. You're not disoriented, bro. He's just like, he punches you. Like, you know what it is now. It's a fight. It's either a fight or you could react anyway. But he punches you. You feel it. All right, bang. He punches you.
It depends. Again, can I access my gun safely without it getting taken away? Do I need to?
You got it right on your hip.
I'm pulling that shit out and say, touch me again, you're gonna die.
Okay, all right. So you say you're gonna give a warning. Okay, all right. That might be a little bit different. It might be a little bit different.
If I have, but keep in mind that's if I have the privilege of even being able to create distance to do that, right? But I might have to just pull it out and go like this. There's a reason why they teach you in the academy. Once you draw it, you immediately put it like this and shoot. This is what they do that for, to teach you how to do that. So like, again, bro, like self-defense is a dynamic thing. And I know a lot of people in your chat are mad and they don't want to hear that shit. But the reality is, bro, is the dude closed the distance. He punched Chud first. Chud shot him after. We don't know what happened after he punched him, but we heard some struggling. Witnesses are saying that it was provoked. Look, if that's the fact pattern, Chud has a very strong self-defense case. Of course, I can always change. I reserve the right to change my opinion on the matter if the video evidence shows different, because I'm, always for the truth. But based on me talking to witnesses, reading different things, and people that watch the stream, they're the best credible witnesses we got right now.
The sus part of what you read is that they said that Chud never said like some racial inciting language. I'm like, you realize that? I'll ask my chat. I don't know about your chat.
He didn't what they're trying to say.
All right, let me ask you. Well, sensibilities might be different. If a white dude says to me, yo, bro, I don't want you chimping out on me, I feel highly offensive about that.
Would you hit him? Would you hit him?
Just off that, no. But I would be like, yo, bro, get away from me, bro.
There you go. Bro, you're an adult, unlike the dumb nigga that hit him. See the difference? Here's the problem with blacks, bro. I know your audience is about to get mad as hell right now. Bro, black people never take accountability, bro.
Yeah, hold on.
Real talk. They never do.
But here's the thing. All right, I'm saying he's guilty. I'm saying he's guilty of assault, but not because he's guilty of assault means it was warranted for him to be shot.
Again, it's all the facts and circumstances that led to him pulling out the gun. You literally have said multiple times, if you get punched, you have the right to defend yourself.
Yes, you do.
Okay, so the way that person decides to defend themselves isn't our business. It's not. We can't make the call on that because only the person that's reacting can do that.
No, that's not how it says according to.
I'm telling you,
let me tell you this.
Quarterback this.
Yo, let me tell you.
See, here's the difference. You're saying you're Monday morning quarterbacking it, saying, oh, you have no right to use your gun if you get punched. I'm saying he might have the right to use his gun after he's punched based on what was going on in his mind. And this is what the law in America agrees with me. This is
in a 15% case. When you said might, once you said might, 15%. I think 85% lies with me. 15%, huh?
We need all that. We need all the evidence to come out. But if what happened, if what the witnesses told me happened, and we see that pump from video and it's accurate, bro, Chud's gonna walk. I hope you know that. He's gonna walk. So like, I get it. People are pissed off or whatever. I'm going off the law. People want to cry in the chat. I see a lot of you guys getting mad over here. Bro, I literally had a discussion with a self-defense attorney, and he said the same shit. We're on the same page. So it's like, You should talk to him, bro. Andrew Branco, one of the best self-defense attorneys in America. We had a 2-hour conversation about this, and he agrees. If that happened, Chud got a strong self-defense.
Hey, have you seen the multiple conversations where lawyers have also agreed that if you are provoking, if you use provoking language and you provoke an altercation, that is not covered under self-defense. Have you seen those videos? I've seen a lot of people who practice in Tennessee. Sure. They have said that.
Sure. But here, what you got to understand is Chud disengaged, which means by definition, he is not the provoker. The guy you're defending is the provoker.
Well,
Chud walked away.
If he's walking away but still saying stuff, is that disengaging?
It depends on what he said. It depends. But the bottom line is he walked away and created distance, and this guy followed him. And it was a significant amount of significant amount of space. We're talking 70 to 100 yards, like a damn near a football field. The guy came back towards him. So
I'd be shocked if it's 75 to 100 yards. Listen, you know what 100 yards is? That's a whole football field. The people watching the stream is no way being able to be like, oh, it's 100 yards away. First of all, 100 yards away, you could only hear the person if they're shouting.
That's not really the point. The point I'm trying to make is there was a significant amount of space between them, and he closed the distance. That's my point. Regardless of the actual space, the bottom line is he closed the space.
Hey, listen, I know you're not a betting man, but I would definitely put up a bet. I know how this is going to end. This is going to end with him taking a plea. It's going to take a plea because there is no.
Okay.
It's no way
does
he's
taking a plea mean you're guilty though. Does taking a plea mean you're actually guilty?
Not necessarily, but again. Back to the point. Hold on. Back to the point of what I'm saying in terms of giving advice, not necessarily that you were trying to give advice. It's stupid that he's now in a position that his best option is going to be him having to plea out. There's no. I know there's a lot of betting people out there. It's no way he's walking. There is no way he's walking. In no situation.
Here's the thing. He might take it to trial. He might take it to trial.
And at that point, he's not going to take it to trial, but he'll get. It'll be just interesting how this gets dealt with, like politically. It probably won't be handled fully in court until probably a couple of years. Now, what's going to happen before? He's probably going to get out on bond probably this next week or maybe 2 weeks from now. And again, I'm just going with
he has a hearing tomorrow. I think he has a hearing tomorrow.
Well, I believe that's hearing is to kind of like dictate how the bond could be given, right? So, you know, at some point he'll get bond. I'm pretty sure he will.
Oh, did you know that they like literally arrested a murderer, and he only got a $250K bond in the same exact court as Chud? Chud has the highest bond ever.
Yeah, but when it comes to bond and how much money
and they're black too, by the way, and they're black, so that we can't even make the argument of like, oh, they're white, like they're blacks and they.
But in that situation, when it comes to how much money, the judge takes into account usually what you could afford to reasonably guarantee the court. So it's not the same for everyone. That's definitely, we do know this, right? It's not like, it's not a one size. Listen, there's no court that says, hey, attempted murder, you get out on $250,000. And then they just randomly pick Chud and gave him. No, they look at what they think you could reasonably afford. Put it like this. It's the reason why Diddy was offering $50 million, right? Hey, $250,000 is nothing to you. We can't guarantee you're going to return. We can't guarantee nothing. You're putting up collateral. Collateral is going to be based on what's your family like? What's your how much money is are you married? Like, how much could you afford that we feel we are reasonably satisfied? Also, here's the thing about the court making those type of things. The judge has no, there's no litmus test. Obviously, has to go through, the three main variables of if, flight risk, danger to community, and whatever. But he has complete subjective, he has complete subjective authority on that.
All right. So
there is no fucking schedule where it's like, hey, if you make in between this, your bond has to be this.
Okay. Literally. So here's the thing. Excessive bail should not be required, right? That's Tennessee Constitution right there. Look at his bond compared to everybody else. You look at this graphic. A lot of these people are black.
Charged with the same thing?
This is
charged with the same thing?
What?
With everyone charged with attempted murder?
with other people got charged with murder act.
Okay.
And they got a $250K bond. So that's what I'm trying to tell you. Like, you know, people always want to cry, oh, yo, black people don't get, it's not fair, blah, blah. Bro got a $1.25 million on a self-defense case where the guy didn't die versus straight up murderers, premeditated, are getting $250,000, bro. Come on, man.
Well, it's not a self-defense case because the prosecutor did not present it as such. It's literally murder. But I will say this:
The prosecutor's not going to say self-defense. Of course.
All right, okay.
Their prosecution.
Well, here's the thing. So let's even out the playing field to see if this is a misleading. I'm looking at this graphic. Let's see if it's misleading. Were all those other people also out on another bond? Because that's what he was. He was out on another bond, then he committed an attempted murder. That usually really complicates the situation when you're on one. That's some nigga shit, right? That's what people say. Oh, that's some nigga shit. So you're saying he had the ankle monitor on and he went to go do the crime anyway? Yes. So Dalton, Mr. Dalton, already was on bond and he chimped out and went to go do another crime. Yes, your bond is going to be a little bit more than these other guys. Do all of these guys also have another bond that they were violating when they committed this attempted murder? We got to be fair.
We know recidivism is high. I'm sure plenty of them were on bond, but let's assume they weren't on bond. They did premeditated murder act. Like they literally, and they're getting like 1/5, 1/6 of the bond that Chud got.
Okay.
That's the point.
And then for that, I think that will still be it will be addressed, and he should appeal that. And if it's seen as if it's seen as, you know, outside the realm of, keep in mind, we're going to remember what this is. All these things come into context, right? It's going to come into context. I know you want to compare him with some random guys that might be from Tennessee. Yes, the fact that you're a high profile guy, the fact that you are a streamer that probably has a potential to earn a high income, it all differs, okay? It's not one size fits all. It's not like, oh, like some small. Remember, this is a first degree offense, and because of that, they're going to take into all type of parameters. Hey, if $250,000 is nothing for you, no, they're going to put it up to $500,000. $250,000 for this guy that's Antoine from Crenshaw, bro. His family has never had $250,000 in $250,000 years. So of course he is good for him.
Bro, this guy doesn't got money either, bro. He's not rich either. He just started this streaming shit. He's not.
He has a propensity to make incredible amount of income because his notoriety has soared online, which I'm also, at the next hearing, they're going to bring up the fact that he has a GoFundMe with over $250,000 already. And basically, he's a popular social media figure. He's a popular, if you think a popular social media figure is going to get the same bond as some random bum, come on, you know that's not true.
Well, here's the thing. They actually can, based on, like we said before, flight risk, everything else. My argument, bro, isn't that about him not getting bond. My argument is other people that have done significantly worse crimes get significantly lower bonds. That's my argument. I'm not arguing about the bond. I'm arguing about the price of the bond compared to other people that got bond for worser crimes.
I don't think the bond is excessive. If they allow for, you know, his family to back that collateral or how they structure it, I think that like, what's your how much money is you know, are you married? Like, how much could you afford that we feel we are reasonably satisfied? Also, here's the thing about the court making those type of things. The judge has no, like, there's no litmus test. Obviously, has to go through like the three main variables of, if, you know, flight risk, danger to community, and whatever. But he has complete subjective, he has complete subjective authority on that.
All right.
So there is no fucking like schedule where it's like, hey, if you make in between this, your bond has to be this.
Okay. So here's the thing. Excessive bail should not be required, right? That's Tennessee Constitution right there. Look at his bond compared to everybody else. You look at this graphic. A lot of these people are black.
Charged with the same thing?
This is
charged with the same thing?
What?
With everyone charged with attempted murder?
With other people got charged with murder act.
Okay.
And they got a $250K bond. So that's what I'm trying to tell you. Like, you know, people always want to cry, oh, yo, black people don't get, it's not fair, blah, blah. Bro got a $1.25 million on a self-defense case where the guy didn't die versus straight up murderers, premeditated, are getting $250,000, bro. Come on, man.
Well, it's not a self-defense case because the prosecutor did not present it as such. It's literally murder. But I will say this:
the prosecutor's not going to say self-defense. Of course.
Okay.
Their prosecution.
Well, here's the thing. So let's even out the playing field to see if this is a misleading. I'm looking at this graphic. Let's see if it's misleading. Were all those other people also out on another bond? Because that's what he was. He was out on another bond, then he committed an attempted murder. That usually really complicates the situation when you're on one. That's some nigga shit, right? That's what people say. Oh, that's some nigga shit. So you're saying he had the ankle monitor on and he went to go do the crime anyway? Yes. So Dalton, Mr. Dalton, already was on bond and he chimped out and went to go do another crime. Yes, your bond is going to be a little bit more than these other guys. Do all of these guys also have another bond that they were violating when they committed this attempted murder? We got to be fair.
We know recidivism is high. I'm sure plenty of them were on bond, but let's assume they weren't on bond. They did premeditated murder act. Like they literally, and they're getting like 1/5, 1/6 of the bond that Chud got.
Okay.
That's the point.
And then for that, I think that will still be it will be addressed, and he should appeal that. And if it's seen as outside the realm of, keep in mind, we're gonna remember what this is. All these things come into context, right? It's gonna come into context. I know you want to compare him with some random guys that might be from Tennessee. Yes, the fact that you're a high profile guy, the fact that you are a streamer that probably has a potential to earn a high income, it all differs. Okay. It's not one size fits all. It's not like, like some small. Remember, this is a first degree offense, and because of that, they're gonna take into all type of parameters. Hey, if $250,000 is nothing for you, no, they're gonna put it up to $500,000. $250,000 for this guy that's Antoine from Crenshaw, bro. His family has never had $250,000 in $250,000 years. So of course he is good for him.
Bro, this guy doesn't got money either, bro. He's not rich either. He just started the streaming shit. He's not.
He has a propensity to make incredible amount of income because his notoriety has soared online. Which I'm also at the next hearing, they're going to bring up the fact that he has a GoFundMe with over $250,000 already, and basically he's a popular social media figure. He's a popular. If you think a popular social media figure is going to get the same bond as some random bum, come on, you know that's not true.
Well, here's the thing. They actually can, based on, like we said before, flight risk, everything else. My argument, bro, isn't that about him not getting bond. My argument is other people that have done significantly worse crimes get significantly lower bonds. That's my argument. I'm not arguing about the bond. I'm arguing about the price of the bond compared to other people that got bond for worser crimes.
I don't think the bond is excessive. If they allow for his family to back that collateral or how they structure it, I think that a guy who is a social media known figure who based on his job occupation and hold on, it probably could be even argued that he got arrested or he committed this crime while he was doing his job, and in most places you should have insurance. If you're doing your job and you happen to get a charge or something of the sort, you usually have insurance that could kick in to be like, hey, we're going to protect you legally. So again, I don't see them treating this as some random guy going to kick in the door. Granted, same crime. If they try to murder someone, yes, it should be treated like that in terms of guilty or innocence. But if they know that you're a social media personality and these other things, they're going to make sure that bond is high. It's the reason why we've seen in other cases, like even with how much did like Harvey Weinstein put up for bond? And we've seen people on Wall Street, they've had to pay like $10 million in bond. When if it was someone else, they would either not get bond or the bond would be significantly less. Again, they do charge you for who you are. And Chud the Builder,
okay, that's fine. That's fine. So okay, you're saying they charge you on who you are. Okay,
not charge it the bond.
Supposed to be blind? Isn't justice supposed to be blind? Right? Don't we want equality? Is that what black people fought for? So, like, why is it that he is getting?
So your bond stipulations has nothing to do with guilt or innocence, and it also has nothing to do with whether
The courts heavily influence it, though. The courts heavily influence it.
You're right, but it's off the direction and how the judge feels. That's why you appeal it, right? That's why, like in federal court, a magistrate says something like they just said in Pooh Shicey's case, like, "Yo, we can let these guys go," and then they appealed it again, and the district court judge is like, "I don't know about that." Again, it's really discretionary and nothing actually. You could cite case law. You could cite a lot of case law in terms of, hey, look at these guys, they got off on this. But if there's a reasonable conversation made to say, hey, listen, we're putting the bond up, and this is where I agree with it. Number one, I agree that he's significantly more well off, whether family-wise or because of his career. He now has a career in social media. So he could pay a higher bond. But second of all, I think he's a tremendous danger to the community, not only because of his own actions, but because of what his actions represented. I think a prosecutor could definitely.
Okay, that's fine. You can argue that in court. That's not my point. We can argue bond all day. Okay. I'm saying 1.25 is excessive compared to the pattern of other people that got worse crimes. That's my argument. You're making an argument he shouldn't get bond. I'm arguing, hey, the bond is too high. That's what I'm saying. Compared to other cases that are worse.
But bond is
not consistent.
Bond has never been only related to the particular charge. It's always related to all type of mitigating factors that the judge has to consider. What does this person do for work? What is the chance they'll reoffend? What is the likelihood that if they get out of jail, they could use their money to influence witness this and third? It's the reason why Lil Durk is offered a $10 million bond.
Again. Nobody died. That's important. And then on top of that, he's saying it's self-defense.
He's a social media figure.
That doesn't matter. Like 1.25 is excessive. Like there's literally a law. Excessive bail should not be required under Tennessee law.
No, I'm not. Hold on. I'm not saying he won't get brought down on appeal.
Him being social media is completely prejudiced. Like that's not what matters. It's
well, that could be argued. That could be argued. That could be argued. But the point was not defending that. The point was that that's how we normally see these things. Like if you're high profile, if they are going to put a bond, the bond is going to be significantly higher. Like, yes, you might be able to go towards an appellate judge and get it reduced, but this is not a outside the norm situation where this guy's bond is just unusually high, but no other bond of a social media personality or someone who has the high propensity to affect people or is popular or could get money real quick, they always have usually higher bond than the regular population. I think you could agree for the most part. I'm not saying that it won't get reduced, though.
Yeah, every case is different. You brought up like Diddy and Pooh Shicey. That's federal, bro. Getting bond in a federal case is damn near impossible. But at the state level, man, people get bond all the time. I showed you the example of like, look, this dude right here literally committed, murder, and he got $250,000. Like, it's based on the severity of the crime.
Yeah, no, it's not only severity. That guy his family has no houses. His mom probably works a job making $40,000. Dad, he doesn't know. And he probably has a sister working at CVS. Like, for him to put up that collateral for $250,000, right? Whether they're going to go with a bail bondsman to pay $25,000, it's going to be significantly weighted more that you're going to guarantee that he's going to show back up to court. And if he was on that bond, he would probably it's incentivized for everybody around him to make sure he doesn't reoffend, because you're taking a significant amount of money, which is a first-degree crime, from the people around him that are basically vouching on collateral for him. Dalton Etherly, this guy is damn near, some people call it white supremacist, and I believe that, when we look at his potential financial earning, given the fact if he's free, I think it's up to $10 million. I think 1.5? I think 1.5 is just fine. He'll be fine.
Yeah, I mean, again, that's something for the lawyers to argue, so that's fine. I mean, we can Monday morning quarterback it all day, but clearly they're going to probably make these arguments tomorrow, I predict.
I think they're going to reduce it to. I think they're going to reduce it to 750. Meet it half.
They probably will.
That's what I think.
They probably will. Yeah, because it's not, again, he's a popular figure, so of course they're going to make it expensive in the beginning, but yeah, they're going to lower it and get him out of there.
If you ask me, I think there's going to be a bond package, which, I don't think they were prepared to really offer at the time when, the judge didn't even listen to that. He just said a bond. If they come back with, hey, listen, he's not going to be streaming, right? Which that might be also difficult, because if that's the way he makes his money, be like, hey, he'll have an ankle monitor on. So, okay, he could stream, but he'll be in the house. He can't talk about the case. And if they make certain type of, things that would make the court more comfortable, I could definitely see them coming off that 1.5. 700,000, maybe 500,000. But at some point, it'll get out. It's just that I definitely believe the court's going to curb that behavior of what led to this.
Yeah, of course. I mean, they're going to bring all the factors in, flight risk, reputation, all that stuff is considered. But I'm saying even with all of that considered, I think 1.25 is still excessive compared to other people. But that's an argument that the lawyers are going to make. You know what I mean? That's literally what they get paid to do. So they'll, cite legal precedent, look at other cases, all that stuff. So that's kind of, it is what it is. But we'll see, bro. We'll see. I mean, tomorrow's a big day for him, so.
Okay, so wrapping up here, and by the way, we do have a lot more to talk about, but I know you got to do your stream. I got to get in some topics that people want to talk about music. So let's just see, and by the way, for people who are watching this, you could have a friendly debate where you disagree, and again, time is always the master. He's going to tell us who's right or whatever. It could still be really respectful. I hope people learn from that. Okay, so let's just on a broad level,
civil debate.
Yeah, let's broad level just figure out where we land on this. I believe it's a little bit cooked. I don't believe he has a self-defense case, and I do believe that one of the biggest things in this case is going to determine whether proportional force, and obviously it's going to be per the situation.
Can you summarize? Okay. How about let's do? Hold on, I'm gonna take a quick piss. What I'm thinking we do to close this thing out is you give me what you think happened, and then your prediction.
Yeah.
And then I'll. I think that's the best way. So the people that are just coming in will know what our positions are fully. So let me just say a quick whiz and I'll bring it back.
Yeah, by the way, chat, how you guys feeling? Listen, we still got a lot of Iceman stuff to get to. By the way, me and Myron, what people don't realize that me being cool with Myron doesn't mean I agree with a lot of things he says or everything. There are things that I think he's spot on, and he's pretty good. He's pretty good usually with politics, with law and crime type of stuff, and he's like is at least his first niche is the stuff with like female logic and shit like that. But I will say there are things that we kind of break in terms of how we kind of
So let's do this. Let's do this. Take me through your fact pattern, what you think happened in detail, so everyone knows, and then tell us your conclusion of what you think. And then I'm not going to interrupt you. I'm just going to listen, and then I'll give mine, and we can let the people decide.
I'm making a 2-minute clip. All right. So I believe that Dalton's walking outside the courtroom. He's definitely on edge. He sees the narrative. He's still doing content. He tries to engage with these guys, not necessarily in a racist way. They know who he is. They refuse to engage. He does what he normally does, try to push the conversation. A guy who may or may not have bad intentions already say, hey, listen, if you say some of the stuff you normally say, I'm gonna snap. He then says it. The guy attacks him. He tries to defend himself. While defending himself, he shoots the guy. People come in, they break it up because they're still entangled. And pretty much that's where we have officers and everybody get involved. And essentially, he gets charged after being held for a while, after they realize to say, hey, listen, there's your self-defense claim has so many holes in it. It's possible that you could have been the provoker. And also, number two, it's not proportional force. So those two things, I think, has him in illegal hot water. It's going to go towards either him being convicted. I highly see that happening, but I highly doubt that happening. But I do see him taking a plea.
You doubt he'll be convicted?
Yes, because it's going to be so long drawn out. Most cases within the criminal justice system is just not. What
do you think he'll plead to? What do you think he'll plead to?
Aggravated assault. Yeah, I think it was an overcharge to get him with attempted murder. Aggravated assault, or maybe some assault with a deadly weapon. But something for the shot.
So you agree that he didn't attempt to murder him then?
No.
I think that's excessive.
Yeah, no, I think that was excessive. Yeah. He definitely shot the guy. Like, I think that was his way to try to fight. He can't fight. I been knew the guy couldn't fight. So, again, he's getting overcharged, but, of course, he's going to sit up for the plea. I don't think, if he was trying, now, if there's a video of him standing over the guy on some All-Star JR Ben 10 thing trying to like execute him, that's attempted murder to me. But I think he got punched. The guy maybe was still approaching. He shoots him. And yeah, like he was trying to get the guy like whatever.
So, question, just so I make sure I understand your fact pattern. You said that they got in an altercation. Would you say Chud walked away and the guy followed him?
No.
Okay, what do you think happened then? Because it's important. When did the altercation happen?
I think Chud's walking by these guys.
Yep.
He's probably noticing they're snickering or whatever. He says, "What's up?" to them. They basically like, yo, get the move on, bro. We're not trying to talk to you. And I think he tries to engage with them, and one of them approach him. And that,
so he never walks away.
yeah, or even if he's walking away, he's already engaged with them, because I've seen it multiple times where it seems like he's engaged, but he's trying to walk. He's not really walking away. He's just walking away saying, "Yeah, you a bitch. Follow me to my car." He's done that a bunch. "Yeah, follow me to my car. You'll see. I got something for you. Come on. Yeah. Follow me. Yeah." He does that a lot. I could show you 5 videos of him doing it. So I don't believe in his body language and his words or anything else. Again, I don't know, but this is me assuming, is him saying, "I'm trying to walk away from this." I believe he's still inciting, he's still whatever, and then he says the chimping out thing. The guy hits him. That's when the gun comes out.
So to be clear, because I want to really make sure I have this. So you think he did walk away, but he was still talking shit?
He's walking away after the guy pulls up. He's trying to engage with the guy. I don't think the guy followed him after he's trying to leave. I don't think he's trying to. I think when he realized it, Chud is one of those guys, and people in my chat would know niggas like this. Chud is pussy. So I've watched the video where he's talking shit to the guy, and right when he feels they're going to do something, he starts walking away. He's like, yo, well, I can't share my screen, but there's a video of him with 3 guys, and you could tell they kind of start almost surrounding him, and he starts walking away. Why? Because he wants to give them the idea like, I'm walking to that gun, right? And also he kind of sees the fact that he probably is going to get attacked. So he's not de-escalating. That's not de-escalating. That's not like still filming, still talking shit, but now you're walking away. You're just not trying to get attacked right there. And because he's always why is this the first time somebody punched him in the face? Because he always does this thing, he gets you riled up, and he's like, man, this guy's a bitch, man. Yeah, he's a bitch, you heard me. Why does he do that?
Okay.
He's not in front of guys' face like, no, I called you, and he's not saying that. We haven't seen it.
Okay, so let me ask you this. So if he's walking away talking shit, why can't those blacks be adults and just ignore him? Why follow him?
I think we went over this conversation
if that
already.
Were true, let's assume this is true. Okay, let's assume all that is true. Why are they following him and attacking him then?
Well, first of all,
black people got to take some accountability, bro.
No.
Like, let's
first
be honest.
First of all, you're incorrectly stating blacks. When you say blacks, you're talking about an entire race of people. There's been 99% of people that de-escalated with the guy antagonizing. So if anything, it actually proves that African American or blacks or whoever you want to call that group of people, which I'm a part of, and you too, we have actually been peaceful. The antagonizer we've walked away from, we have disengaged with. It was always inevitable that one person was not going to do it. And again, maybe it's not the best representative of the entire community, but it's definitely acknowledged that there was going to be one person that was not going to do it.
Okay, so let me just say this. You can never justify violence over words, bro, when they're walking away. I'm sorry. Like, people got to start being adults and, fuck your feelings. Like, people say some things that hurt your feelings.
You're talking morality
like,
now.
Following them and punching them? Well, no, I'm talking legally. Like, you legally walk up to them and punch them, you're in the wrong. But, okay, let me go through my fact pattern. So you're saying that he walked away, but he was still talking shit, so you don't consider it disengaging for real.
That's not disengaging.
Is that fair?
Yeah, that's not disengaging.
Okay, in your opinion. Okay, fair. Here's the fact pattern, and before I preface this, guys, come on over to Kick. I'm getting off YouTube, bro. Fuck you, YouTube. Come on over. I dropped the link in my thing. I'll give my quick summary here, and I just wanted to make sure. And before I tell my summary, I want to make sure I have yours correctly. He walks up, says hello. They say, "Get the fuck out of here." He walks away, but as he's walking away, he's like, "Oh, fuck you niggers, blah blah blah," all that other bullshit, right?
Yeah.
Right. That's what you're saying.
Yes.
As he's walking away, he's still talking shit. That's when the guy confronts him.
Yes.
Saying, "I got PTSD, blah, blah, blah."
Yes.
And then he punches Chud. That's what you think happened.
Yes.
Okay, so which is fairly similar to mine, but there are some differences. Guys, I'm going to end the YouTube stream right now, so come on over. YouTube going down now. Okay, so before I get into this, I want to say what I'm about to say was told to me by multiple people that saw the stream. Okay, that's where I'm basing this narrative from. Credible people that watch the stream in my community. This is how it goes. He's at the courthouse wearing a suit. He sees people pointing at him and laughing. He walks over to them and says, hey, how are you guys doing? They say, get the fuck out of here. He's like, okay, this is a free country. I could do what I want. Starts walking away. As he's walking away, the guy closes the gap. Maybe they're mouthing off together. Who knows? But the point is that he's walking away. The guy travels a significant amount of distance, okay, to come and confront Chud. A significant amount, large amount. As he does this, he gets in Chud's face and says, I got PTSD, call me a chimp, call me a right? Or maybe he said it before as he's walking to him, right? But the bottom line is he crossed the line saying these things, whether he said it right in his face or he said it as he was walking up. This is what was said. As he gets into his face, they argue. They're inches from each other's face. He punches Chud. Camera falls. We don't hear anything. Oh, sorry. We can't see anything. We can only hear a few seconds later, gunshots go off. That's what happened. If that fact pattern is correct, which is multiple witnesses have confirmed it for me, that is a valid self-defense case because despite the fact that people don't like Chud, despite the fact that people think he's a racist, none of that matters. What matters is what transpired on that day in this specific interaction. And in this interaction, he walked away, he disengaged, the individual closed a significant amount of distance towards him and continued talking and then struck him first. Chud is 100% within his right to defend himself. Now, you made the distinction, well, I don't think he has the right to use deadly force. Your argument is he could defend himself, but not with deadly force. My rebuttal to you is we don't know if he's justified using the deadly force. And that's my position because we don't know all the facts and what was going on through his head, okay? So I am taking the legal route here. Neither of us can say he's not justified because we weren't there. And according to the law, that's how it's done. It's based on the individual's own personal recollection of what they felt and saw at the time they were in the use of force instinct. So we'll have to see the video to get everything out. But based on credible witnesses, what I see, my knowledge, talking with self-defense lawyers, that is the position I have based on talking to experts, my own experience, etc.
All right, and I hear you. Again, we'll see. Again,
and we can agree to disagree when the video comes.
You haven't made your final prediction. I think he won't get fully prosecuted. He'll take a plea. I think Chud the Builder, the white knight supremacist, his career is over, and we'll now see Dalton come back if he ever wants to. You know, I don't know if these audios are real, but he's like, oh, I miss my girl. Yeah, well, Bubba or maybe Tyrone is in there that could keep it company. I don't think he'll be doing any more. I think he'll be done with the antagonization, which that was the whole thing. You know, people were just saying, listen, if you got to get smoked, you got to get smoked. You got to get him out of the way. Looked like he's learned a lesson, whether he does a year in jail. He's doing jail time now, regardless. As long as this behavior he realizes it's not sustainable. You can't do this and think you're not going to keep being in these positions or probably, you know what I mean? I'm going to be honest with you. The black guy who pulled up on him, you know, might not be the smartest. Like, they should have left Chud's brains on the pavement. Like, the guy's armed. He's telling you he's armed. I wouldn't pull the way how Chud is moving, I wouldn't pull up on him unless I got a gun. So I don't know what's up with these guys pulling up on him like unarmed. So, you know.
So this is and that actually adds more credibility that they know he's armed and they're still pulling up to him, which that might make a reasonable person believe they're also armed. But that's a whole other thing. Okay, my prediction on the case. This will happen. If it gets past grand jury, okay, if the video comes out and it gets past grand jury, and it shows what what people have told me, the prosecutor's either going to dismiss the charges or give him a simple assault thing and plea deal instead of actually charging him. Or sorry, instead of actually going through with the attempted murder.
You think so?
Remember, if that video comes out and it's just like I described, he has a valid self-defense case, bro. Now, let's assume we don't know the video and it goes to grand jury or whatever. He's going to have to go to trial to tell his side if he wants to do that.
This is a perfectly.
But it's just so much in the air. We
Yeah.
don't know yet.
Yeah, the prosecutor's got to be willing to prosecute this, even if it's a losing case. I don't think it's a losing case, but definitely
Well,
not
if
getting
it's a clear-cut self-defense case, bro, if there's a clear-cut self-defense case and it's, clear as day, they'll drop the charges. Or they'll take it to trial anyway and let the jury decide so that they don't fucking, so there's not riots.
Yeah, but
That might be the other reason.
The only thing let's say lesser charge, not simple assault. I say some type of, it's a gun. Like, simple assault is,
Again, it depends. If he has a valid self-defense case, who knows what the prosecutor might go ahead and come up with. But
all right,
yeah, I mean that's my take.
Last question before I get off here. The money
sure.
that's raised for his legal defense, do you think he should be able to, well, that's the hearing, that's what it's about, pretty much. Do you think it should be able to use by him, or should he have to pony up things from himself and his family using their assets and net worth?
I know another there was another GoFundMe that was made by his family. So that's the new one that they're using.
Do you
He
think
doesn't have
do you think
access to
any
the other one.
Do you think any public funds should be used? I guess that's what I'm saying.
Oh, should people donate to his bond? Like
Should it be able to be used or considered by the court? Whatever people in the public have donated.
Yeah, I mean I think they're letting Luigi Mangione use his, and that's another state case and for a significantly worse crime. So I think they probably more than, because this is why I think they're going to let him use it. I know the prosecutor tried to motion for it not, but if they don't let him use it, he can make the argument, I didn't have sufficient, I wasn't able to sufficiently defend myself, and the government stopped me from doing that, or the state stopped me from doing that, which is a violation of my rights.
That could be a point. I can see that.
He could have a very strong argument for that. That like they forced me to use a public defender when I had the funds, and this is violating my, Sixth Amendment or some shit.
Okay. All right, Myron, thank you. I appreciate you. Different opinions here, but we'll see in time how this kind of manifests.
Yeah, the video's the big one.
Yeah.
The video is going to be the biggest one. But no, that was a good discussion, bro.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Good discussion.
Myron
brother.
Gaines, people, you guys go check him out. Fresh and Fit. Also, Myron Gaines X. He streams frequently on Kick, not Twitch, but Kick, YouTube, everywhere else but Twitch, probably.
Yeah,
just like me.
True crime, the true crime shit, geopolitics, all that stuff. I was actually talking about the Massey situation right before I came on with you, bro. They spent $30 million to get him out of Kentucky as a rep. It's crazy.
Jeez.
But all right, bro. You take it easy.
All right, you too, bro.
All right, brother. Peace.
All righty then, chat. We're still here. We are